Cardinal Sports Network brings you this special presentation. Event coverage starts now.
Good evening, basketball fans, and welcome to the Cardinal Sports Network's presentation of basketball at Trinity Valley Community College. We are coming to you live from Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym on the campus of TVCC here in Athens, Texas. And tonight, folks, we have a very delicious Region 14 men's basketball game for you as the 6th-ranked Cardinals take on the Navarro College Bulldogs in a Highway 31 showdown, a Highway 31 rivalry. But this year's got a little bit different twist added to it as I bring in Jason Larson, the Public Information Officer here at the college. I'm Benny Rogers, the Sports Information Officer at the college. Jason, there's a strange-looking fellow there on that Navarro bench tonight.
Yeah, Trinity Valley folks know him real well. It's Michael Landers, who obviously coached the Lady Cardinals to 2 national championships. So it's kind of weird to look over on the Navarro bench and see Michael over there. But as you've been able to see and the fans have been able to see, he's been well received in his return trip here to Leon Spencer Court, even if it's kind of a weird homecoming.
And I'm sure it is for Michael. This is a big game tonight, folks, because the Cardinals are currently setting the pace in the Region 14 conference. They have a 21-2 season record. They are 11-1 in conference play, Jason. That's the best record of anybody in the conference. Navarro is 15-8 on the year and 8-4 in conference. So while the Cardinals want to maintain control of the lead, this is a great time for the Navarro Bulldogs to take a shot at one of the leaders and knock them off on their home floor.
Yeah, absolutely. You really want to do that. I mean, you can get a lot of benefit from that, too. Obviously, the win is the most important thing, but that can be a real big confidence builder as you get down into the stretch of this conference schedule, which is going to be really tough for anybody.
It should be a great game tonight, folks. Thank you for joining us on the Cardinal Sports Network. I hope you'll make your way out to Cardinal Gym and before the season ends. Next Wednesday night, we'll have another game for you on the Cardinal Sports Network when Kilgore rolls into town. They're currently ranked number 9 in the nation, so that'll be a great showdown next week. But this is a game tonight that the Cardinals have to be entirely focused on because it's a game they need to get. You got to win at home in this conference.
Yeah, you definitely want to take care of this one. And again, that confidence thing goes both ways, obviously. The Cards want to take care of the home game and then face that big game against Kilgore coming up.
Of course, the Cardinals, as we mentioned, are coming in 21-2 on the season. They are averaging 84.5 points a game and giving up 56.9. And when I read you the Navarro Bulldogs' averages, they are averaging 71.5 and are giving up around 63.3. And I think that Navarro's had like 13 or 14 two-possession games this year, Jason. I was talking to Michael Landers about it 30 or 40 minutes ago, and he said he's not sure in his 11 years here at Trinity Valley on the women's side he had that many two-possession games total.
Yeah, maybe not. That can definitely drive a coach crazy, but it tells you something, too, that they're in every game. I mean, obviously not every team in the conference can say that, so that's why you want, if you're the Cards, you want to get off to a good start. You don't want to have any lulls if you do get off to that good start. Just play real consistent. I know that all sounds pretty basic, but that's how you win a basketball game.
And Navarro's coming off a 69-68 win at home against Tyler Junior College Apaches this past Saturday night, and that's huge because, as we mentioned earlier, you got to win on your home court and get what you can on the road, and the Cardinals have done quite well on the road this year. I mean, I know they dropped that game at Kilgore, but they went down south and beat both Lee and Lamar. Both games going to double overtime, but won both those games in high-scoring fashion. But you got to protect your home turf.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, let's take a look at the Region 14 conference standings now, and just show you where these two teams do line up. You see the Cardinals there at 11-1, and there's Navarro at 8-4. You got Paris and Kilgore just trailing the Cardinals by 1 game. You look down in the South Zone, and Lamar State I think Lamar State is 9-3, and Sanjak is now 9-3 because Lee had to forfeit a game since we printed the standings. So those Sanjak is also at the 9-2 mark instead. 9-2. My bad. So they're now a half a game up on Lamar State Port Arthur. We'll take a look at the games going on in the Region 14 conference tonight. We have our game here, of course, and then you got Kilgore at Tyler, Bossier Parish at Panola, Lee at Coastal Bend, Angelina at Lamar State Port Arthur, Jacksonville at San Jacinto, and then a non-conference game, the Shiner JV is taking on Blinn. So there's a full slate of action tonight, and we'll try to keep you posted as scores come across. We can tell you that in women's basketball action this afternoon, or late this afternoon into the night, the number 1 ranked Lady Cardinals went on the road to beat Sanjak 99-64, and we had some good news from the Lady Cardinal front this earlier today, Jason, when sophomore forward Duke Bulgak was named the National Player of the Week.
Yeah, and was well deserving of it maybe last week as well. Had a big week last week too, but she's a special special player, and boy, just an important cog on a team with a lot of important players.
Now we'll take a look at the top 10 national rankings, and this is where the Cardinals have really moved themselves into the high rent neighborhood. They are currently number 6, as you can see there, following Indian Hills, College of Southern Idaho, North Platte, McLennan, and South Plains. So that's pretty good, Jason. When you look at the top 6, 3 teams are from Texas in that top 6.
Yeah, and not much separating really that whole top 10. If you look there, sometimes you don't have a team that's just running away with it. You got a lot of stuff there. That's going to make for an interesting tournament when it comes that time, but it's not quite time to talk about that national tournament just yet.
Folks, there's a lot of energy in this building tonight. I can feel it. I'm sure Jason can feel it, because Michael Landers is back in town. Of course, Michael's in his first year at Navarro, his first time he's ever coached men's basketball, but he was 11 years here at the college, and he compiled a 335 win, 39 loss mark, and he won the 2 national titles that you mentioned and played in a 3rd national title game. So Michael has got skins on the wall, as they say. Certainly, yes, it's on the women's side, but Michael's a great coach, and no doubt he's going to have Navarro back where Navarro wants to be pretty quick. As a Cardinal fan, we're just hoping it doesn't start tonight.
That's right, yeah. You look at his overall record there and some of his accolades, and you just think, why couldn't it have been better? Why couldn't it have been better? I'm just kidding. Obviously, people just really, really respect the heck out of him, and Kenya as well, who's not here, But it's just, like I said, a strange homecoming for him, and we wish him all the best, just not tonight and anytime they're facing the Cardinals.
While Michael's coaching at Navarro College, which is new to him this year, wife Kenya, who played here for the Lady Cardinals, won the national title in '99, and he and Michael were assistant head coach, co-head coaches, I should say, 2 years ago when the Lady Cardinals won their 6th national championship. But she's coaching high school basketball this year, coaching the Richland Lady Rebels, and they're going to the playoffs this year. So in her first year, she's taking them to the playoffs.
Yeah, not surprising at all. Obviously, they can coach. There's no question about it. They definitely know what they're doing. So I think they could coach and be successful at any level.
I can tell you we got some Hall of Fame action here in the house tonight. Coach Leon Spencer, of course, is in the building as usual, for whom the court is named after. And Rourke Montgomery, the Navarro AD, said there's a real good chance that Coach Lewis Orr may make an appearance tonight, Jason. So how privileged would we be to have 2 Hall of Famers like that and legendary coaches in the building together?
Yeah, definitely. That's a neat deal. And obviously they're big proponents of this league, and obviously have played a lot in this league. So it'll be neat to have them here.
I mentioned Michael Landers, head coach of the Navarro College Bulldogs. Of course, the Cardinals are led by Chris Ballman, now in his 2nd year at the college. Earlier this season, Chris picked up his 200th career coaching victory, and tonight's the one he definitely wants. But Chris came from Garden City, Kansas, and this is his 2nd year. Last year, of course, he led the Cardinals to the regional tournament. They won a first-round game before losing out to Navarro with a kind of a questionable call there late in the game that went Kilgore's way. But hats off to that Kilgore College team, because they had a great team last year. But Chris has done a great job. I really like the makeup of this team, Jason. This team really has great resiliency. Deficits don't bother them. We've seen them come back late in games this year to pull it out in overtime or double to overtime even. But these kids just generally seem to like playing with each other.
Yeah, and I think of this team and I think about grind and guts. They just definitely seem to have a lot of intestinal fortitude, and they just seem real coachable too. You don't see them really get down a lot. I don't think a basketball team that's 20-1 and 2, you're not going to be able to get caught up in little moments in a game. They just really seem to be grounded in a game and focused on what the goal is.
Absolutely. We will mention too that we will have Coach Brad Smiley, the head football coach and AD, on with us at halftime of the game tonight. He's going to talk about the recruiting class that he and his staff put together today. And I tell you, folks, it's a pretty impressive class. I realize no coach is going to tell you he's not happy with his class, but it's not like Brad to throw around phrases like one of the best recruiting classes in the country or the best in his 8 years here. So according to the season the Cardinals are coming off of, they didn't have to have a lot of help, but it sure looks like they got some.
Yeah, definitely. And Brad does a great job. He's a great recruiter, and he's got some guys on that staff, obviously. They're very good at that as well. So that's always going to pay dividends for the Cards next football season.
Well, as you can see, folks, the teams have left the floor from warm-ups, and we're just about a minute or so away from starting this game. Harold Jones, the public address announcer, will have some housekeeping announcements to make, and then we'll have the national anthem, the introduction of both teams, and then we'll be underway in what's going to be a very exciting night here at the Cardinal Gym with Michael Landers back in town on the other end, on the other bench, which is a strange sight for some of us who have been around forever to see. But Michael came in with a grin on his face and everything. He knew he'd be well received once before the game started, and now everybody's rooting against him, which doesn't happen. Hasn't happened much since
we're allowed to root against him tonight.
But we have a nice Wednesday night crowd on hand. It is cold here in Texas. I know you folks in the Northeast and Midwest and North don't want to hear about us being cold in Texas, but we stayed in the 30s all day today. It's supposed to get down to the 20s tonight and just barely make it into the 30s tomorrow. So we're kind of bundled up here in Athens, Texas, but it's good to have you joining us on the Cardinal Sports Network. And we will have the playing of the national anthem momentarily.
By the TDCC Cardinal Regiment.
By the Cardinal Regiment Pep Band, and we now have the introduction of the starting lineups by Harold Jones, the public address announcer here at Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym.
The starting lineup for the Navarro Bulldogs. From DeSoto, Texas, number 13, Shannon Lilly. From Alexandria, Louisiana, number 33, DeJuan Wright.
Wright is averaging 4.8 rebounds a game.
From Dallas, Texas, number 35, Jamar Goodwin.
Goodwin's averaging 10 points a game.
From Alexandria, Louisiana, number 45, Troy Jones.
Jones is averaging.
And from New Orleans, Louisiana, number 53, Mike Daniel Hagan.
Daniel Hagan is a 6'2" sophomore.
Head coach of the Bulldogs is Mr. Michael Landers. Assistant coaches Eric Colbert, Brian Crawford, and Jaquay Walls. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for your Trinity Valley Cardinals. A 16 sophomore from Memphis, Tennessee, number 2, Octavius Ellis.
Ellis is averaging 14.4 points a game and 9 rebounds a game.
A 5'10" freshman from Houston, Texas, number 11, Dietrich Bezos.
Bezos is averaging 10.7 points, 5.5 assists, and 2.3 steals a game.
A 6'9" freshman from Clarkston, Georgia, number 13, Clarence Williams.
Clarence Williams has really been giving the Cardinals a lot of offensive punch here lately.
A 6'2" sophomore from Indianapolis, Indiana, number 15, Patrick Ingram.
Patrick Ingram has really been coming on as well. He's averaging 8.2 points a game, and he's had some double-digit games in the last couple of weeks.
Louisiana, number 23, Josh Robinson.
Josh Robinson has really been a great player for the Cardinals this year. He's got great range from out around the three-point circle. He's averaging 11 points a game. And folks, you have the lineup set. We're about ready to get underway, and adjacent as the national anthem is being played, getting back to the Michael Landers return story. I wondered what it must be like. You're in the gym, you're looking up at the American flag, you see the national championship banners, and 2 of them have your name on it.
Yeah, it's just got to be bizarre for him, you know, but obviously he's going to focus on what's going on tonight.
Absolutely.
They got to get this win if they're Navarro, you know, they want to come in here and do that. Michael may have a little bit of a comfortable feeling since he's so familiar with the court. Not that that gives you a huge advantage, but something.
And now then, folks, we're getting deep into the conference schedule, so you start worrying about that seeding, working on that seeding for the regional tournament. And those seedings and pairings mean everything.
Yeah.
We're about to get underway. The Cardinals are decked out in their home white with red numerals, and the Bulldogs are decked out in red and with black numerals. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Cardinal Sports Network. A lot of the Cardinal football players are in the house tonight.
And they're already getting rowdy.
Lady Cardinal volleyball and softball teams are here tonight. The Cardettes are here, the band's here, and the cheerleaders. We're ready to go. Region 14 basketball. Tip is controlled by the Bulldogs. Spinning move down low is up and no good, and the tip back goes to number 45, Troy Jones. The initial shot was by Dwan Wright, and the Bulldogs break on top first. Cardinals bring it down. Josh Robinson currently operating the offense. Pulls up for the three, the top of the circle, no good. Rebound to Malcolm Williams, and he's going to get an and one out of it. There's going to be a foul called against the Bulldogs. Foul's going to go against number 33, Dwan Wright. So just like that, we're going to be tied with the Cardinals having a chance to take their first lead as Clarence Williams, rather, a 6'9" freshman out of Tallahassee, Florida, goes to the free throw line. Free throw attempt is up and no good. Rebounded by the Bulldogs. We have a lane violation against Red, so Williams will get another shot at it as the rebound was controlled by number 45, Troy Jones. Williams will have another shot at it to give the Cardinals an early lead. Their first. This free throw attempt is good, and the Cardinals do go up by a 3-2 count. Cardinals applying backcourt pressure. Bulldogs break it, get into the offensive end. Shannon Millie directing the offense, number 13. They get it inside down low. Goes up, a shot in. Good job by Troy Jones of making room for himself down low and going up over two Cardinals and getting the bucket to fall.
4 points here in the first minute for Jones.
Averaging 10.3 a game. Tavius Ellis gives it up to Dedrick Basil. Basil with the drive and a block. And I believe Basil touches the ball as he's going out of bounds, Jason. So the ball will go over to the Bulldogs, nursing a 4-3 lead at this point.
Looks like the Cards are still going to put pressure on here.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a 94-foot game tonight. Cardinals are applying pressure in the backcourt. Millie breaks it. Now he's on the attack. Great job of Basil stealing the ball and forcing a turnover. Here come the Cardinals. They do have numbers. They feed it off to Clarence Williams, and the ball is knocked out of bounds. A great play that time by Dwan Wright. Knocked the ball out of bounds, saved the layups, and prevented the Cardinals from scoring, but the ball does stay with the Cardinals. Cardinals looking to get the inbound. They get it inbound to Robinson. He takes the ball back up front. He's working against Jamar Goodwin. Now Robinson on the attack. He drives it all the way, puts up a shot. The shot is blocked by number 45, Troy Jones. The ball will go over to the Bulldogs. It's knocked out of bounds by the Cardinals. The Bulldogs leading by a score of 4-3. Not a lot of scoring early on. Teams are really playing this one tight to the vest, close to the vest, I should say. Haven't seen the perimeter shooting yet. Lilly again working against Basil. Now he gets into the trap. Beats the trap, gets it over to Goodwin. Nice job of reading his teammate, and the Bulldogs get the bucket by Dwan Wright. Very nice job by the Bulldogs as they now lead 6-3. Cardinals looking to find a little room here to get off the shot. Robinson kicks it out to Basil, kicks it over the corner to Patrick Ingram. Ingram with the drive, no good. Long rebound goes to Basil. He kicks it off to Octavius Ellis at the top of the circle. Ellis with a spinning move, puts up the shot. Can't get it to fall. Battling for the rebound is Patrick Ingram for the Cardinals. He's battling two Bulldogs, and we're going to have a timeout called right in front of Michael Landers, and I don't know that Michael agreed with that. He's asking about it anyway. He's got a little grin on his face. So we are going to have a timeout charge to the Cardinals to save the possession. Cardinals down 6-3, 17-29 to go.
Lots of just high energy here early on. I don't think they can maintain that pace, obviously, but you can just tell by the way that Ingram kind of attacked that ball, and a couple of Navarro defenders did as well. I mean, they all hit the floor. So,
and if you've noticed early on, because we are early on, Navarro's really not giving the Cardinals some of the freedom out around the circle, the three-point arc that we've seen other teams do this year, and I'm sure that's one of the concentrated efforts they had coming into the game was not to do that, to allow the Cardinals to do that, I should say. Take a look there at Chris Bauman in his second year at the college. Owner of over 200 career wins. Cardinals get it into Octavius Ellis. Makes a move inside the paint, and he's going to be called for the travel. Octavius tried to attack, but Navarro had position on him, and he was called for the offensive foul, so that'll be a turnover. And checking into the game for the Bulldogs is Tony Foster, a 6'2" sophomore out of Monroe, Louisiana, averaging 13.5 points a game.
Benny, I think that's a battle that Octavius will win most of the time. He just got to stay at it there in the paint.
Again, we've talked about the Cardinals' resiliency this year. We've seen them get down and fight their way back and win most of those games, having only dropped 2 this year. This game has definitely been played inside the paint to this point, both ends. And he steps out of bounds, so it's going to be a turnover as Jones turns it over, stepping out of bounds. He was closely guarded by Octavius Ellis. Octavius forced him out of bounds, so the turnover will go to the Cardinals. The ball will go to the Cardinals, and here comes Navarro, and there's some backcourt pressure defense now. Diedrich Basel working against Shannon Lilly. Gives it up to Robinson. Robinson for 3. Got it. Josh Robinson, well, if he hits 1, he may hit 4 on you tonight, and that ties it up at 6-6. That's the first outside shot we've seen the Cardinals have a little freedom for. And a nice drive, and we're going to get a goaltending against Octavius, so the points are going to go to Tony Foster, who did not start. He's averaging 13.5 points a game. So the Bulldogs back in front. And Basil continues to work against Lilly. And we're going to have a foul. This one's going to go against Foster. That'll be his first. Here Chris Bauman issuing instructions in the background. Ellis going to make a move inside. Good jump stop, and he gets it to fall. Octavius Ellis ties the game. Octavius averaging 14.4 points a game. There's Foster with the drive, no good, and battling for the rebound, and Clarence Williams is going to outfight the Bulldogs. There for the Bulldogs was Jamar Goodwin, but Cardinals come up with his Basel drives the distance. Going to be blocked, and we're going to have our first sub for the Cardinals as Adonis Foote, who's averaging 10.7 points a game, is going to check into the game, as is number 5, Malcolm Riley, who's averaging 10.3 points a game. Bulldogs also made wholesale changes. Ingram and Williams are going to check out for the Cardinals. 8-8, 15:37 to go in the first half, low-scoring game. Robinson running the offense, and we're going to have a foul away from the ball, and this was going to go against Adonis Foote, number 24. Another turnover for the Cardinals. Cardinals now have 2 turnovers. Tightly played defensive game so far, folks, as we suspect it would be. Didn't figure this one was going to turn into a track meet. Come the Bulldogs. That's Chris Boulware now in the game for the Bulldogs, wearing number 11. Rebound goes to Josh Robinson. Goodwin with the miss. Here come the Cardinals. Malcolm Riley gets it out to Robinson, over to Basil. Basil down low with Foote. Foot just throws it away, trying to make a pass across court, across lane. You just can't do that. And we're going to have a foul called. I think maybe before the shot. No, they're going to shoot two. It was on the shot. As the foul is going to go against Octavius Ellis, so that'll be his first. Team's second. 2 free throws now for Deshaun Robinson, a 6'2" freshman out of Houston, Texas. Back into the game for the Bulldogs is going to be 33, Dwan Wright. Also checking into the game is number 25, Trey Young.
Benny, how big is the bench going to play in this game for both teams with the intensity that you've seen right here in the first 5 minutes?
That could very well be the deciding factor of what bench comes through tonight. Free throw attempt is good, and we are at a 10-8 Bulldog lead. Low scoring game. Of course, Navarro's coming into the game fresh off a 69-68 win at home against Tyler's this past Saturday night. Adonis Foot on the drive. Going to have a foul called. It's going to be charged number 51, Jaleel Cousins. That's going to send to the free throw line to shoot two. Adonis Foot, a 6'5" freshman out of Peoria, Illinois, averaging 10.7 points a game. Getting ready to check into the game is going to be 6'10" sophomore Kevin Jordan, number 32, and Patrick Ingram is going to come back into the game as well. Ingram, I should say. Game like this, you got to make sure you knock down those free throws, Jason, because it could be the difference between a 1- and 2-point game at the end. As we mentioned, the Navarro's had so many, they had double-digit 2-possession games. That free throw falls, and the Navarro lead stays at 10-9. Of course, if you're Navarro, you'd like to make sure you keep it close going into the last 5 to 10 minutes of the game and have a chance to win it on the road. The Cardinals would like to get a little cushion somewhere along the way. The Bulldogs are really doing a nice job of attacking the goal down low. Here's a shot from outside, no good. Rebound goes to another three-pointer going up. This time he got it. Nice job by Deshaun Robinson on the second three-point attempt. And we're going to have a timeout. Chris Ballman wants to talk this one over as Navarro has jumped out to a 13-9 lead at the 14-03 mark.
Kind of tough on that one, Benny. Navarro's really hustling to the rebound and just, kind of hustled for that one in the middle and then got open on the outside.
Yeah, you give a good shooter like that a second opportunity that close to the previous time he had it, and he's usually going to correct the little deficiency that he had in the shot the first time.
Yeah, Robinson, and he was standing there wide open, but it was only because there was so much action kind of jumbled up in the lane there.
You see a group of the TVCC Cardettes performing during the timeout. Got a nice crowd here on hand. It's across the way from us. It's not full, but there's very few seats that you can see over there. The Navarro folks over here behind the Navarro bench, and then the usual Cardinal fans that sit behind the Cardinal bench. So great atmosphere at Leon Spencer Ford at Cardinal Gym. If you just joined us, I can tell you that the Lady Cardinals went on the road today, defeated San Jacinto 99-64. That was their 48th straight conference win. And they will be on the road Saturday to play Tyler. The men will also be in Tyler for an afternoon doubleheader. We won't have that game for you, of course, but both games will be streamed audio online by radio station KCKL 95.9 FM, and online you can get it at kcklfm.com. So you'll have a chance to listen to the game Saturday, though you won't be able to see it. But of course, our flagship station KCKL always does a great job. (13-9) Bulldogs. That's the biggest lead by either team. Foot gets the ball down low, and he's going to charge. Going to be called for the offensive foul. I thought that was a good call there as the Navarro player was positioned. There's 14 fouls now on the 4 turnovers. I'm sorry, 4 turnovers by the Cardinals.
Would have liked to see Foot go ahead and take that first look that he had instead of trying to get a little bit closer.
Yeah, he tried to improve it, and there's really nowhere to improve it. Ran out of room, and the Navarro player did a great job of positioning himself. So the Bulldogs are back on the attack. Turnover going to the Cardinals. Basil takes it from Riley. Basil passes it off to Patrick Ingram. And that's 2 points to the Cardinals. Here come the Bulldogs quickly down the floor. And we're going to have an offensive foul. This one's going to be charged against Deshaun Robinson with 23.
Nice job of Ingram there, kind of selling it a little bit too. Obviously, the Navarro player came a little high on him, so it's a good call and good job by Ingram making sure that the ref saw it.
Absolutely. Well, Basil back in control of the offense now. Tavius Ellis is checked out of the game for a blow. Basil puts up the three. Basil in and out, no good. Riley with the putback, he misses it, and the Bulldogs control. Cardinals are doing a good job now of defending the perimeter after the three-pointer we saw earlier. Ingram got away with a bump there, and I think Michael Landers saw the same thing as I did, just judging from his reaction. Now there's a great job of the Bulldogs again getting the ball down low. The Bulldogs, Jaleel Cousins with the bucket, but it's obvious what the Bulldogs have got to do here tonight, Jason. They're going to attack the goal, especially with Octavius Ellis out of the game right now. 15-11 Bulldogs. Kevin Jordan misses the shot. The ball goes out of bounds. They're going to say it went off of Malcolm Williams, and the ball will go to the Bulldogs as Octavius Ellis comes back in. I think Chris Ballman's probably saw the same thing we did there, that without Ellis on there, you don't have that same presence inside.
Yeah, Cousins is a big guy, 6'10", and a big body. Actually, we're seeing him come to the bench now. Good news for the Cardinals because he looks like he's real skilled down there under the basket.
4-point Navarro lead. That's the biggest lead by either team. Coming up on the 12-minute mark of the first half. Low-scoring game. I guess you can call it a slugfest because there's a lot of action, but there's not a lot of scoring. Of course, both teams are capable of lighting it up, but you figured tonight was going to be all about defense. Basil's going to be called for a ticky-tack foul.
I agree. Not a whole lot there. Nothing that it certainly impeded the action, but
Calypso Blanco checking to the game number 3 along with Kentrell Washington 14, and then Josh Robinson comes back in. The Cardinals really need Robinson out there to maybe start lighting things up in three-point range because he has a way of really energizing the Cardinals and turning around a game from three-point range as we've seen this year already. Cardinals have really got to do a great job of defending down low. That's where Navarro has hurt them so far. There's a turnover. Malcolm Williams controls with the Cardinals. He's trying to dribble through 2 defenders and turns it over. Not a good decision by Malcolm that time. And the Bulldogs call a timeout, and I guarantee you, folks, Michael Landers does not like players calling timeouts. I promise you he doesn't, coach, folks. I consider Michael a real close friend, and I know his likes and dislikes, and that ain't one of his likes when a player calls a possession to call a timeout.
Well, that was certainly the first thing he was talking about with the player when he came into the huddle. So
it's good to have you with us on the Cardinal Sports Network tonight for this Region 14 game between the Cardinals and Navarro College Bulldogs. 15-11 Navarro lead at this point, and it's just really been a really tightly contested game. Not a lot of offensive punch to it. Both teams are working really hard to get anything that they get. We've had a three-pointer, I guess, from both ends, and that's been the extent of the outside game so far.
Yeah, we got one for the Cards and one for the Bulldogs, and that's it. Otherwise than that, it's just been a real physical, intense game so far.
We do thank you for joining us, though. Can't say that enough because we know you're out there, and we appreciate hearing from you. Our email address here at the Cardinal Sports Network is csn@tvcc.edu. That's csn@tvcc.edu. There again, the Bulldogs attacking down low, getting the ball to Jones, and Jones delivers. 15-11 for the Bulldogs.
6 points for Jones now, and about half of Navarro's points coming in the paint.
Now Ellis is working down low, makes a spin move, and is going to be fouled. I believe that's going to go to Jones. 45 is going to be called for the foul. That's going to send Octavius to the free throw line to shoot 2.
Cards 2 of 3 from the line here early, Benny.
I can give you the Lady Cardinal leading scorers here when we get a break. Heard from Coach Elena Lovato on the top scores as Octavius knocks down the first free throw. Second free throw attempt is no good. Rebound goes to Jones for the Bulldogs. 10:40 and the Bulldogs on a 17-12 lead. Been a real grind for the Cardinals on the offensive end. Not much better for the Bulldogs, though they have had success when they've attacked down low. There's a three-pointer from out top. He drained that one. Nice job by Corey Ross, a 6'5" freshman from Houston, Texas. Make that a 6'6" freshman from Houston, Texas. Navarro with his biggest lead now by 8. Navarro's plays such sound defense. You don't want to let them get off too big a lead on you. Three-pointers up and good. Nice job and a bucket well needed by Delipso Blanco. 20-15, exactly what the Cardinals needed. A little outside firepower. Oh, great job by Josh Robinson of reading what was happening on the floor. He came up with a steal and knocked it off to Octavius Ellis. Now the Cardinals have a chance to cut more into the Navarro lead. Josh Robinson with a great defensive play. Cardinals need to make this offensive possession count. They get it to Robinson. Has an outside shot, and he came close to turning it over. Shot is up and no good. Rebound is controlled by Washington. And Washington gives up the loose ball to Josh Robinson. Kentrell Washington heads up play there. Three-pointer on the way, good. Boy, Navarro can light it up from three-point range as Tony Foster hits that one, folks. I know I've followed a lot of their games this year, and they're a real streaky club, it appears, when from three-point range, Jason.
Yeah, well, that's 5 points for Foster now and a couple of threes. 3 threes now for the Bulldogs.
And that's a turnover there as Blanco throws it away. Adonis Foote is checking into the game for the Cardinals, as is Malcolm Riley. That's going to send Blanco and Williams to the bench, and now Delipso checks back into the game. Delipso Blanco checks back into the game for the Cardinals.
Tell you what, I think Clarence Williams' face, I don't know if we got to see it there, but his face said it all. He's worn out right now, and I mean, they're really battling down there.
They are. They absolutely are. Nice job of working inside for the Bulldogs. He missed the shot. 45 misses the rebound and a block. And now here come the Cardinals. A great defensive stand there for the Cardinals, but they need to capitalize and not throw it away. Adonis Foote gives it up to Octavius Ellis. Ellis makes a spin move, and he's going to be tied up in the paint. Tell you tonight for the Lady Cardinals, Shalante Allen had 21, Duke Bulgak and Jasmine Spears had 20 each, and Coco Baker had 14 as the Lady Cardinals defeated San Jacinto 99-64 on the road today. Three-pointer, no good. Rebound is controlled by Robinson for the Bulldogs. Coming up on the 8-minute mark, and the Bulldogs in a 6-point lead. Ellis with the block. And he saves the ball from going out of bounds, and here come the Cardinals on the run. They don't have numbers. Foote with the drive, and he gets it. And just like that, a blink of the eye, the Cardinals make a little move there. Get within 4. Bulldogs still in control of the scoreboard. There's a spark there for the Cardinals. There's a great job on the defensive end, started by the block by Octavius Ellis. And there's a 10-second call. Be a turnover. 7 turnovers now for the Bulldogs as Michael Landers is getting an explanation from the official. He listened and smiled, but he didn't believe it. Blanco gives it up to Foot on the alley-oop. Foot with an air ball, gets the rebound, looking for the putback, misses the shot, and now we're going to have a foul on number 51 for the Bulldogs. He elbowed Jaleel Cousins with the elbow. He definitely did. Another turnover going against the Bulldogs there. I think that'd be number 8 for the Bulldogs. 8 turnovers so far. Wholesale changes by both teams. Our next webcast for you will be a week from tonight when the Kilgore, number 9 ranked Kilgore Rangers come to town to play the Cardinals. The Cardinals will be on the road Saturday at Tyler. Navarro will be at home against Paris. Malcolm Riley with the pull-up jumper, no good. Rebound controlled by Williams. Riley with another jumper, no good. Williams this time loses the rebound. And he's going to be called for a travel. DeJuan Wright will be called for the travel. And we got a media timeout at the 6:55 mark. So 6:55 left in the first half. It's a 23-19 Navarro lead.
Talked about Clarence Williams earlier, Ben. He's got 3 points and 3 rebounds right now. He's really hustled down there, and you can just see how hard they're working down there. And they have to work that hard to get a rebound because Navarro's really hustling after loose balls as well.
Coming in, this figured to be a very physical game, and so far it has been. I think you read Clarence Williams' face a little bit earlier, Jason, after he was coming off the floor. You could just tell the grind is already there, and it's just in the first half. But Navarro has been in control of the scoreboard now for most of the half so far. We were tied briefly there once or twice, but then it's been on the Cardinals had a 1-point lead, I think, at one time, but it's been tight ever since then. But Navarro has maintained a lead.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Clarence Williams is spent by any means.
No.
It's just you really want that out of those guys. They're giving everything they've got, every chance they're on the floor, and that's what you need. And then go let them sit down, take a blow, and come back. But it's just going to be a long, bruising night. You're going to have some tired guys tomorrow from both of these teams.
Absolutely. You see Michael Landers there talking to his Navarro College Bulldogs. Harold Jones announcing the Lady Cardinals score in reverse order. Now, I don't think anybody was going to buy the fact that San Diego was going to win that game 64 to something. But he had a lot of fun with the crowd. You can see the crowd was like, what do we got here? Cardinals back in action after the timeout, media timeout. Ingram with a drive, no good. Williams with the putback, no good. Ingram winds back up with the basketball, puts the shot up, and he's going to be fouled. I believe that's going to go against Troy Jones. It is indeed going against Jones. That's his second personal foul. It's going to send Patrick Ingram, to the free throw line.
Textbook crashing the boards there, isn't it, Benny? They just really got after it.
It's a battle inside. I mean, I think it's going to be that way the entire game, too. First free throw is good. Checking in for the Bulldogs is going to be Neville Fincher, number 55. 6'9" freshman out of Teaneck, New Jersey. I think the Lady Cardinals had a player out of Teaneck, New Jersey several years ago. Second free throw attempt is also good. So back to a 2-point game. Cardinals have done a good job of not letting Navarro extend that 6-point lead. Again, the Bulldogs tacking down low. Well, they're really doing a nice job, and Jones gets the bucket. I'm sorry, Fincher, 55, not 45. Navarro's really done a great job of getting the ball down low. Obviously something that Michael Landers saw probably while scouting, that it might be a vulnerability of the Cardinals. Now there's a trap coming here as Ingram's finding himself at half court, and he does turn it over. Great job of the trap that time by the Bulldogs, and Ingram just got caught out of position there and got caught in the corner.
Yeah, he was kind of in no man's land there. That was headed for nothing good.
Boulware dishes it off to Robinson. Robinson's shot is up, no good. Rebound is tipped away by Ellis, but they're going to say it went off of a Bulldog, and the Cardinals will have possession. Three-pointer is up and good. Malcolm Riley drains one from deep in the corner for the Cardinals. Got a one-point game again. Will the Bulldogs try to answer from three? No, but they get the drive and get the ball down low, and they turn it over. 10 turnovers now for the Bulldogs. Yeah, the officials wanted to make sure that the Cardinals got credited for the three on when Malcolm Riley threw in the three-pointer, and they in fact did. It took the score from 25-21 to 25-24. The officials were just making sure. Well, the Cardinals got to be careful there. The Navarro's really bouncing around in that trap, and it causing them some problems. And you saw Basil that time almost get trapped the same way that Ingram had on a previous possession of the basketball. So they're going to have to be very careful of that and not get caught in that corner up near half court. Ellis dishes it off to Ingram. Oh, the ball bounced, took a high bounce and almost went in as Malcolm Riley misses the putback. The Cardinals are dominating the boards. Ingram with the putback, no good. And here come the Bulldogs as Wright controls the basketball. So that was a shot, a chance for the Cardinals. And the Bulldogs turn it over. And Malcolm Riley comes out with it for the Cardinals. Riley goes the distance, lays it up in, no good. Riley underneath gets the loose ball, but he's called for the travel. So there's just two straight possessions now. The Cardinals had opportunities to take the lead and didn't capitalize on it. So that's the Navarro's got to feel very fortunate there that they've gotten away with a couple of bad trips for themselves.
Yeah, that was a crazy series there. I mean, just both ends of the court.
Bulldogs are obviously going to try to attack down low. And we got another turnover. And if you thought I knew Michael Landers real well to how he felt about a player calling a timeout, he's even less of a fan of turning the ball over. Of course, there are a few coaches that are a fan of turning the ball over. Opportunity for the Cardinals. Now they've had two straight possessions to take the lead, and they have not capitalized either time. So see if they get a good look here. Tried to get an alley-oop to Octavius Ellis, but he was out of position, and now he's going to turn it over with the wall. So this has not been the cleanest game. We combined for how many turnovers now?
Well, 9 for the Cards and 12 for Navarro. So
we had 21 turnovers. Thankfully, there haven't been a lot of fouls called, and I know I just jinxed us when I said that. A nice job by Dedrick Basils with quick hands. The ball goes out of bounds off of Basil, but he certainly got the attention of the Bulldogs that time as he caught him kind of nonchalant with the ball. And checking into the game for the Cardinals is going to be Kevin Jordan. Going to check in for Malcolm Williams. Be a different look now for the Cardinals with both Ellis and Jordan on the floor together. Try to combat that low presence the Bulldogs have down low. And a nice steal by Basil. And the Cardinals turn it right back over. And here come the Bulldogs. Three-pointer on the way. No good. Rebound in the putback. We're going to have a foul called. Foul's going to be called. Offensive foul is going to be called on 35, Jamar Goodwin.
This one's just a little too good. A little push in the back there, helping him get that last rebound.
But it's not going to be an offensive foul because shooting a 1-and-1.
Cards 5 of 7 from the line.
Need to make them in a game like this. And Dedrick gets the first one to fall. And we're tied again, folks, at the 3:43 mark. Cardinals have been down by as many as, 6 points, I think, 7 points. Second one falls. Now the Cardinals have a 26-25 lead at the 3:34 mark. Keep in mind, at halftime, we will be talking to Coach Brad Smiley, our football coach and AD here at the college, about the recruiting class that he and his coaching staff put together today on National Signing Day. Again, the Bulldogs try to get it down low and do, and a block by Octavius Ellis, and it's saved by Kevin Jordan. Kevin Jordan saves the block by Octavius Ellis, and here come the Cardinals looking for a chance to build on their lead. And Deidre got trapped in no man's land then and tried to make we're going to have a timeout charge to Navarro. So with 3:07 left in the first half, the Bulldogs find themselves in a 26-25 hole. And Jason, it's just been a grinder.
Sure has. I tell you what, that's 3 blocks now for Octavius Ellis. He's really been key down there, because obviously, as you've made reference to several times, the Bulldogs are really trying to get the ball into the paint and trying to work it around down there. I mean, that's obvious. Octavius has done a great job contesting shots. For the ones he didn't get a hand on, he's still kind of changed shots too. So that's been key for the Cards so far.
And I want to give the officials a little credit here too, Jason. They're letting them play.
Yes.
They're not calling all that we've had. There's one foul that was probably a ticky-tack foul, but they're really letting them play inside. And you like seeing that as long as somebody's not gaining a definitive advantage with the foul.
Yeah, well, the way this one's going, if they were calling it real close, we'd be sitting at the free throw line all night long, because they were really been banging. Not banging, where it's illegal or anything like that, but it's really been going at it hard.
Basil did a good job of not getting trapped in the corner down there. Kevin Jordan. They get it down low to Ellis. Ellis had the space. Boy, he made that tougher than you thought he had to, Jason.
It looked like it from this angle, but also I think he kind of had his hands pinned down. You're right. He tried to go up, and then I think his arms just got pinned down.
Fincher's going to be called for the foul, and that's going to send Tay to the line to shoot 2. Cardinals leading 26-25. I think the Cardinals' biggest lead has been 1 point. I think so. That free throw attempt falls, so it's now 27-25 Cardinals. Navarro owned a 23-19 lead at the 6:55 mark, and that was not their biggest lead of the game. So since then, the Cardinals have outscored them 8-2. Second free throw attempt is long, and now we're going to have a foul called against the Bulldogs, number 33. Well, that worked out pretty good for the Cardinals, because they were going to lose the rebound battle, and they wound up getting a call as the foul was called on Dwan Wright. As we mentioned, number 33, I think that's his second personal foul.
It sure is.
Basil's going to go to the line for 2. Cardinals trying to build on a 2-point lead. First free throw attempt is up and no good, and the Cardinals have missed a few free throws now. That you add those 3 misses that they've had, or 4 misses, and that really adds up to your point total in what's a close game. I mean, because it's going to be close the entire way. I just got a feeling. And the second one will not fall, and the rebound is controlled, uncontested by Jamar Goodwin. Here come the Bulldogs looking for a chance to tie, possibly take the lead. One-handed runner put up and no good by Goodwin, and the Cardinals control the rebound, and they're on the attack. Wide open underneath is Williams, and he is blocked. A great job by the Bulldogs of blocking the shot, because that looked like that was going to be an easy bucket for the Cardinals. Pull-up jumper is no good. Rebound goes to Clarence Williams. The shot was put up by Mike Daniel Hagan. Again, the Cardinals with a chance to build on their lead as we're coming up on the 2-minute mark of the first half. Basil gives it up to Washington. Washington goes the distance, and it's blocked big time by number 55, Fincher. and it's converted on the opposite end by Goodwin. So great job of defense by the Bulldogs then. Basil takes it for a drive, and this one is slapped away as well. So now it's block city for the Bulldogs. They've got numbers, and a great job by Josh Robinson. Had a 3-on-1 break, and he broke it up, but yet the Cardinals are going to battle to keep control of the basketball. They're all over the floor. The ball is still not controlled by either team, and now we're going to have a travel call against the Bulldogs, and Michael Landers for sure doesn't like that one.
Well, let me tell you something. I really feel like Clarence Williams got fouled. He had control of the ball. He was going down, but got pounced on from behind, so I'd call that justice in that situation.
Michael Landers is making a point, folks. I can tell you that much. As you can see, he's going to talk to anybody who will listen to him. 27-27. Crowd's getting into it a little bit now as halftime approaches. Michael's still getting a word in with the official. Meanwhile, Chris Bauman talking to his squad. And we're Cardinals to inbound the basketball. They get it into Octavius Ellis. Octavius goes on the attack, puts up the shot, and it's blocked. I think getting a piece of that one that time was Cousins. Had a whistle underneath. Going to have double technical foul against Octavius Ellis for the Cardinals and Shannon Lilly for the Bulldogs. Of course, those do count as personal fouls as well. So that's an exchange there between the double technical. Woo.
That's action.
Yeah.
Action-packed.
Of course, the officials see how tightly it's being played inside, too, and I'm sure they don't want to let it get out of hand. So that's just kind of a way of getting the players' attention. 1:30 left. Ellis goes to the bench for the Cardinals. Boy, nice job by that time by Cousins of just slapping that lazy pass from Dedrick Basil out of bounds. That was an ill-advised pass there. Cardinals were struggling a little bit getting the ball in on the baseline. Now they get it in this time to Josh Robinson. Robinson goes on the attack and lays it in. Josh Robinson with a nice drive for points.
7 points now for Robinson.
Cardinals up 29-27. Coming up on a minute left in the first half. Bulldogs get it down low. And a slam. Great job versus Jordan by Jamil Cousins. I'll check. Yeah, that was Cousins. Tied up, under a minute. Great job of reading Williams' move by Dedrick Basil, so an assist goes to Basil on that one. He almost picks up a foul in the backcourt. It's not called, and Josh Robinson, you can't do that. That's just not smart playing there. Your feet were out of position, and you should have got in better position, but anyway, he'll learn from that.
Well, Cards have a foul to give here, Benny, if there is such a thing. So
true. That's very true. 35 seconds on the shot clock, and the game clock just went under 36 seconds. So there's about a 1 second differential in the play clock and the game clock. Bulldogs will likely milk all of it, not leave the Cardinals any time left on the clock. Let's get something wide open. Three-pointer, no good. Tip back rebound, no good. And Kevin Jordan does a great job tying the ball up with 3.4 seconds left. And I believe this one's going to go to the Bulldogs. So they now will definitely play for the last shot and try to get the tie, unless they are going to try to go for three-point range here. They'll probably take the best shot available since they don't have a lot of time to maneuver.
It's a good job by Kevin Jordan, too, tying up Cousins because he was real close to the hoop.
Forced up three-pointer at the buzzer's no good, and we are at halftime, folks. Halftime with the Cardinals in a real slugfest here against Navarro College Bulldogs. And at halftime, the Cardinals have fought their way to a 31-29 lead. And we'll be joined here momentarily by Brad Smiley, I think, unless he forgets, because Brad's still seated across the way. So, Jason, why don't you run down the leading scorers if you have them?
Just a couple here real quick for Navarro first. 6 points for Troy Jones, 5 points each for Tony Foster and Deshaun Robinson, and got 4 points for Jalil Cousins. A couple rebounds from him, too. Navarro's got 15 turnovers right now, and they're 2 of 2 from the free throw line, so only 2 attempts from the line. For the Cards, we have 7 points for Josh Robinson, 5 points for Clarence Williams, and then a scattering of guys with 2, 3, 4 points. 4 points for Octavius Ellis with 3 blocks and a rebound. And let me also say, Benny, 10 turnovers for the Cards, and they're 8 of 13 from the line.
We'll let you enjoy some of the sights and sounds of a group of the Cardettes who are going to perform here at halftime. We'll see if Brad Smiley's going to remember to come over at halftime.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your halftime entertainment,
Here they are, the TVCC Cardettes.
Make it shake, make it get the shake, make it shake, make the whole place shake, make the floor shake, make the roof shake, shake like I'm a Gideon, I'ma get to Gideon, this piece of Ridium, watch it like a million fists, bump and shake, down, like a nervous breakdown, pussy like a West Indian, come straight from the Caribbean.
Everybody come in, all of them, pick up everything and the yard man them, mash up everything until the dance all end, pick up every woman, all our friend, see how them a wind up, sprawl on bed, enough money them out, all the way I spend, every kind of liquor, mix and blend, back in the building, doing it again.
And we're joined now by Cardinal Athletic Director and head football coach Brad Smiley. Brad, it's been a big day for our football program here on National Signing Day, and you kind of reloaded for hopefully another championship run.
It was a great day for us. We loaded the boat. We really did. We brought in a lot of great players, very well-rounded, very well-balanced at all positions. We're well represented, so I'm excited about a lot of them. There's some great talent in there, and then great kids, great families that are joining our program.
It must have been nice, Brad, to kind of recruit from a different perspective this year in that you didn't have a lot of holes to fill like you did last year. You just had a couple of areas you needed to kind of shore up.
Exactly. I mean, that's the one thing that pointing to through all our recruiting was, you know, we didn't have a lot of major needs because we were such a young team last year, 17 sophomores. So we returned a whole bunch of players, a whole bunch of talent. So really it was just, we got to take it as, are these 3-4 guys at this position, are they better than what we have? Are they going to be able to come out and push these guys to compete and make them better, or are they just going to come and take their jobs? And that's kind of how we did our recruiting this year.
As we look at the recruiting class that you signed today, what are some of the names that it's not going to be too long for Cardinal fans are probably hearing a lot of?
Right. Well, I mean, some of the names you'll hear be the unsung heroes up front. You know, we needed to address some needs and go out and get some offensive tackles, some offensive linemen. We feel like we filled that need pretty good. You know, Arian Ferguson, we had TJ Henson, Jovan Pruitt. Those guys are going to come in and immediately push for playing time. Lucas Morales from Waco Riker. These were guys that everybody in our league was after. I mean, Jovan Pruitt, you're looking at an SEC signee. He was a national recruit with offers from Alabama. He signed with Arkansas. So, but you know, from a playmaker perspective, knowing we returned some running backs, but DJ Breedlove and Adam Berryman are both highly talented kids. Byron Daniels was a Texas Tech signee at wide receiver that's going to make a lot of plays. But Philip Baptiste, Des Randall from San Augustine, and Philip from Coppers Cove were both 100-plus, 1,000-yard receivers in high school. I mean, Philip Baptiste caught 113 balls this year alone. I've never seen a kid catch that many in high school. Unbelievable, you know. And then, of course, our quarterbacks, you know, they're going to come in, they're going to push. You know, Ray John Austin Ramsey, Ryan Cottingham, you know, and Lane Novey. Those guys are all going to come in and push, too. But defensive line-wise, Chance Rogans will be a guy that we expect to come in and play a lot really early. You know, he's going to be a guy that can really run, very athletic. Cardell Best, same one. You know, his guy's also signed Division I, so he's got a, you know, we'll find out late in the summer if we got him. Joshie Hambe signed with the University of Kansas, linebacker. Chris Jefferson here in Athens, Texas, outside backer, could put his hand in the ground. He's just a really long, athletic kid, could run. And in the secondary, you know, we signed some Louisiana guys. Michael Sam, had a guy tell me the other day, buddy down there that's a Division I coach, and he said, thinks he might have been the best athlete in the whole state of Louisiana. And you know, Roger Kevins is a hard-hitting safety, 195, 200-pounder out of Winfield. And, of course, you know, Leroy Hardiman's a defensive tackle from there. That this guy was the player of the year in the state of Louisiana in 2A ball. I mean, he dominated this year.
Right.
Put up an unbelievable year. So,
how different was recruiting this year coming off the successful season you had versus last year when the previous year had not been that great?
Right. Well, I mean, we were able to point in the previous years. We've been able to point at a lot of success that we've had getting guys out and getting graduated, moving on to the next level. Of course, 2 years ago we had the good run in the bowl year, and you know, to this day I feel like this would have been our second ring if Tucker Carter stays healthy. But you know, obviously, I mean, just kind of lets everybody know that we get it done from all fronts. I mean, we make no bones about it. When a kid walks on our campus, when he walks in our field house, we talk about the Valley Boy mission, and that's to graduate, win a championship, and earn a scholarship. And all these guys that we're signing today, Chris Weatherby, Tennessee, and Johnson Thomas, South Carolina, and Daenerys Antoine with Oklahoma State, Tavarian Dickerson with Tulsa, all these guys, they did exactly that. They did exactly what they came here for. They came to graduate, win a championship, earn a scholarship, and that's what they've done. So, you know, I think when the parents and the players and the student athletes, when they come in to a program and you're standing in front of them preaching these types of things, and this is what we focus on here, you know, they see it happening. They see that it's there. So why wouldn't they want to be a part of it if they got to be at this level?
And as I visited the field house today, we kind of saw the both worlds. You saw your sophomore signing; they're leaving you.
Right.
And next thing you know, you're walking into another room, and the fax machine's going to start going off, and you're reloading for the next year. Such is the life of a coach.
Exactly.
On the junior college level.
I'm tired. It was a long day.
Well, say a few words about your staff, because I know last year you had an early start to recruiting, unfortunately.
Right.
This year you got a late start. And
right.
It looked like you made up great ground and put together a great class.
We did. We really did. I mean, when we first got out there in December and really hit the bricks hard, it was because we got a few days out of peace during bowl practice, but December we hit it hard, and when we found out real quick we were behind. But you know, when you go out there and you got a picture of a ring that you're going to be picking up in a month and say, hey, sorry, I'm just now getting here, but we just finished our bowl game. We just, you know, beat the number 12 team in the country 72-20. We broke every record offensively just about, and we made up ground quickly.
When you go out and recruit these kids, how knowledgeable are they of what's going on the junior college level? I mean, are they really in tune to it, really?
There's not. I mean, it depends on what part of the state you're in. Obviously, in East Texas, that gets more exposure, so they know about all the programs. And in Dallas, because, you know, we are so close, and we have so many kids from Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. But when you get down to Central Texas, down to San Antonio, they don't really hear anything about it. I mean, the closest programs are still a few hours away. There's not much coverage down there in that area because there's not a program in that area. Houston also. So it's almost like, you know, kind of just every stop of the way, you kind of re-explain what you do, what your purpose is, you know, explain about the league and the successes that you've had. And you know, of course, everybody in our conference is down there all recruiting the same guys. So, you know, the kids are all hearing the same spiel over and over and over. You can tell when the kid's eyes are rolling back in his head that he's heard this speech before.
It's funny you bring that up, because I was just thinking, I said, you coaches are competitive by nature, and it must be a pretty big charge to go head-to-head against the other coaches in the league and win one, you know, to get one that everybody else wants.
I mean, that's, to me, the recruiting is when you actually can go head-to-head on a guy and just straight up beat him, because in the fall, you know, it's a lot is determined on your 18, 19-year-olds and how they go out and perform and do the things that you're telling them to do. But in recruiting, it comes down to who's going to outwork who and who's going to find the right end and the right person to get to.
So what's next for the Cardinals? I know you're not just going to take the rest of the spring off.
No, we had a great workout today. I mean, you know, I've told our guys today we were fully devoted. It's all study hall and, you know, every day, and lifting and running and working out, breakfast checks, class checks. It's staying on top of the guys that we have now and developing them into, you know, next year's group that's going to sign on and move on to the next level. And the coaching staff does an unbelievable job. You know, Will Reed, who's our defensive coordinator, of course, great year on the defensive side of the ball, but he's been here every step of the way, going, you know, 7 years, going on 8 with me now, and unbelievable job that he does on that side of the ball, and just being a mentor to these young men in our program, you know, and bringing them along, and our young coaches, as he and I kind of take it upon ourselves to make sure these guys are, you know, learning the right way in this business and the right way to do things. I know it's probably shocking to you, but not everybody in this business does things the right way, and they're not real professionals sometimes. So, you know, I'm just trying to tell my guys that, you know, we're going to be better than that. We're going to to be professional in everything that we do. We're going to be positive about our program, and that's it, and that's how we do things, run it, and that's how we're going to recruit. So they're learning some tough lessons because it's frustrating sometimes when, you know, guys at other programs are out there just kind of popping off the mouth. But you know, I just tell my guys, if y'all want to stay in power in this business, you want to be around for a long time and you want to be respected, this is how you do it. And you know, that's really all you can say if you want to make it. If you want to make this thing a career, because you know, it only takes one or two mistakes in the way you handle your business to kind of get people, you know, not saying positive things about you. And of course, that's never what you want. So, you know, our coaching staff, great young guys, Clay Patterson on the offensive side of the ball, Jay Pond going into his 6th year, Antonio Whitfield going his 4th year, Blake Bryan in his 3rd year. I mean, these guys are 3rd going into 4th, excuse me, Witt's going into his 5th. So, I mean, to have the continuity within the staff, and Jermichael Ashley and Clay Patterson, who just joined us, both of them, they're both consummate professionals, and been very impressed with them and do a great job. So it's you know, this championship this year and this great recruiting class really has everything to do in the world with those guys and their hard work and effort and sacrifice they make with their families and stuff to do it. So I wish we were Division I and I could say, hey, you know, like all my, you know, a lot of the buddies that were like, hey, well, no, we got off until next Monday and yada yada yada. And I was like, well, we're running workouts today. You know, we're at the basketball games. We're going to be leading cheers. We're going to be running study halls. You know, so.
And then spring ball will be here before you know it.
Spring ball will be here before we know it. Exactly. We've got a good 5-week off season. We're starting right now for our training cycle, and in the weight room. Then we'll do testing. Then we'll go into early morning mat drill, 6 a.m.'s breakfast club. That'll go throughout March, and then we'll get going on in spring ball at the very end of March and into April.
Well, Brad, thanks for dropping by. Congratulations on a great recruiting class.
Thanks.
And I'll mention to folks on the Cardinal Sports Network, next week Brad's going to be our guest on Cardinal Weekly, so we'll get further into the recruiting aspect of Cardinal football. But Brad, thanks for stopping by.
Hey, Benny, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
And we're about to start the second half here, folks, at Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym, with the Cardinals clinging to a 31-29 lead. I say clinging. It's not like they've blown the lead. It was a grind in the first half with the Cardinals up by a score of 31-29. Navarro led by 7 or 8 points a couple of times, and then the Cardinals came fighting back and to take the lead 31-29. And as we will start the second half, I believe possession will belong to the Cardinals. Yes, it will. So the Cardinals will have a chance to possibly build on their lead. But I figure that 7 or 8 point spread we saw, Jason, might be the height of any team's lead tonight, because you get the feeling that this one's just going to be a grind all the way.
Yeah, I think so, Benny. I think all the way it's going to be that way. It's just one of those games, you know, and it's definitely, obviously, both these teams came here knowing that it was going to take some maximum effort to get the win. So it looks like that's going to be exactly what it is.
Might mention some women's scores tonight. Blinn beat Paris 68-67, and Tyler beat Kilgore 65-60. So both games were really close. And we're underway. Cardinals with first possession. Nice, loud crowd on hand tonight. They get the ball down low to Octavius Ellis. Goes cross court. Got it. 3-pointer. Patrick Ingram knocks down the 3. Cardinals up 5. Biggest lead of the game for the Cardinals.
4th 3-pointer for the Cardinals, and Ingram now has 7 points.
First 5 minutes of a half, the second half, are generally what will go a long way in determining the outcome of the game. Coaches will tell you that time and time again. And a great job by Jones of getting the shot up and over Octavius Ellis for the points, and a big bucket for the Bulldogs.
It's kind of a clean feed. He didn't have a hard time getting the ball, and the rest was just skill with the footwork.
Basil. Octavius was there for the loose ball. Robinson goes down low to Ellis. Was unguarded. Going to be a foul called down low against 35 for the, check that, 53, Daniel Hagan for the Bulldogs. That's going to send Tate to the free throw line.
He's 2 of 4 from the line right now, and the Cards were 8 of 13 from the line in the first half.
34-31. Cardinals led 34-29 for their biggest lead of the game. This free throw attempt bounds off the iron. No good. I'd like to thank Coach Brad Smiley for stopping by and visiting, talking about Cardinal recruiting. Great day for the Cardinal football program today. Second free throw attempt is no good. So 2 chances for the Cardinals there, and Tay couldn't convert either one. So now then here come the Bulldogs.
Parker 7 of 9 from the line at one point now. They've kind of gone on a cold stretch, missed 5 of their last 6.
Typical Region 14 conference game between the Cardinals and the Bulldogs. There have been some shootouts through the years, but mostly they've been grinders. Three-pointer, in and out. That ball was halfway down. Goodwin's three-pointer wouldn't stay down. Josh Robinson dishes back out to Basil. Basil gets it down low to Tay. Tay with a move back out to Basil. Basil puts up the three-pointer. No good. Ball's flying long, rebound is controlled by Josh Robinson. He gets it out to Basil. Basil takes it over to Tay. Tay to Josh Robinson for 3. Robinson's shot is no good. Rebound is tapped by Ellis. Hustling play by Dedrick Basil to save the basketball, put up the shot. There's a lot of contact by both teams. That exchange, and nothing was called. They're going to let them play. Opportunity for the Cardinals. Could not capitalize. Soft jumper, no good. Rebound is batted away by Ellis, and it goes to Jones. Jones is going to be fouled by Patrick Ingram, number 15, for the Cardinals. Mercy. A lot of action there.
Got to give it up to Dedrick Basil there. He really battled on that other end on that last series for the Cards and jumped around, just kind of outmanned.
Steal by Josh Robinson. Gives it to Ellis, and that's going to be a charge. Going to be a charge. Player control foul against Octavius Ellis. That's going to be his 3rd personal foul. So now then Chris Ballman's got to make a decision. Does he rest him and sit him as long as he can? It looks like he may do that. Nikolai Brown is going to check into the game. 6'9" freshman from Jamaica.
See, Tay is frustrated, obviously. He's played his heart out in this game. Not liking having to sit down at this point.
We'll see with his absence now what Navarro chooses to do. My guess is they'll go to that low inside game again. Got Troy Jones in there working against Brown. Shot is up and good by Jones. So Octavius Ellis went to the bench with just over 17 minutes left in the game. We'll see how long he stays out and what happens to the score during that time span.
That's 10 points for Jones, but he's our game's first player in double figures.
Cardinals with a 34-33 lead. Ingram with the drive and a layup, no good. Malcolm Williams with the rebound, and on the putback is going to be fouled. Foul's going to go against number 33, Juwan Wright. So here, Cardinals back at the free throw line. That's going to be 3 fouls, I believe, on Wright.
That's what I've got. I've got Clarence Williams, but he was 7 rebounds here. This is his first trip to the line.
And the Cardinals are leaving points at the free throw line. We'll come back to haunt you in a close game.
Well, they've missed 6 in a row from the line after, like I said, they started actually 8 of 10. Missed the last 6, so they're going to have to straighten that effort up pretty quick.
And this one's no good. Battle for the rebound goes to the Bulldogs, so Navarro with a chance to take the lead after being down 34-29. Three-pointer short. Rebound controlled by Williams. Gives it up to Blanco. Ingram cross court to Riley. Riley for 3 from the corner. Down and not in. Ball rimmed in and rimmed right back out. Cardinals with opportunities, did not capitalize. Three-pointer on the way, no good, bad miss that time. Barely drew iron, if at all. Blanco for three. No good. Boy, both teams are just firing it away now, and nobody's hitting anything. Barely hitting iron sometimes. Here's a three. That one falls. Nice shot by Daniel Hagan, my bad. And the Bulldogs go into a 36-34 lead after being down 34-29, 7 unanswered points for the Bulldogs. Ingram with the drive, dishes it off to Williams. He loses the ball. It is a turnover, and here come the Bulldogs. It's going to be interesting to see how long Chris Ballman leaves Octavius Ellis on the bench with 3 fouls. If Navarro attacking down low, Jason, they can quickly get to him and get his 4th real quick. 2-pointer on the way is good. Shannon Lilly, just like that, the Bulldogs go from 34-29 deficit to 38-34.
I think what you saw there, Benny, is, you know, obviously with the presence inside that Navarro has, the Cards are trying to maybe collapse and overcompensate maybe a little bit. And that's what's opening up a couple outside shots there for Navarro, a 3-pointer and then a long, too. So Cards may do some defensive talk here in the huddle as they regroup.
That's a 9-0 run the Bulldogs are on. They would trail 34-29 early in the second half, and now they own a 38-34 lead. We've talked often this year about the great resiliency that the Cardinals have. They're going to have some here because they've kind of let the momentum switch over to Navarro's side, and you're the home team. You got to get that back as quickly as you can.
Yeah, well, one thing experience tells you if you're sitting on the Cardinal side is that these guys aren't going to lose their head. You know, they've been in tight games all for the entire conference schedule. So, you know, they've just obviously looked at the scoreboard. It's 4 points, and that's nothing right now. There's a lot of game left, and you just kind of know, and you have some comfort in the fact that these guys are going to stay tough and not get their heads down.
It would be a huge road win for the Bulldogs if they come over here and take this win at Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym. If you can win on the road in this league, you're going to go far. Be a top seed at the regional tournament. Right now, the Cardinals have the best conference record, but while we're still early in the second half, that's in jeopardy right now because the Bulldogs have scored 9 straight points. Resuming play after the timeout. Ball does belong to the Cardinals. Needing a good possession here. Ingram off the foot. Now Basil in control. And it's a turnover. Now they're going to say it went off of the Bulldogs, so the Cardinals got a break there. I think it did go off the Bulldogs, but they caught a break. And that answers your question, Jason. Tavius Ellis stayed out about 3 minutes with 3 fouls, so I think that Chris Ballman sees that he needs his team leader out on the floor right here, and he's got to take a chance that he can play for a while with 3 fouls.
And he can definitely play better one-on-one down there than maybe what you got right now, so that'll maybe tighten things up on the outside a little bit more defensively for the Cards.
Cardinals get the ball in. Comes the trap. Cardinals find the open spot on the floor as Riley misses the shot as the shot clock expired. Three-pointer on the way. Got it. Cardinals are going to fall into Navarro's trap here. Boulware knocks down the 3. They get the ball down low to Ellis. Great job of creating space. Octavius Ellis back in the game with 3 fouls. Cuts into the Navarro lead, but the Cardinals led 34-29, and now they trail 41-36.
Cards are going to need a lot more from that from Octavius Ellis. Just got to work that inside and force the issue down there.
Cardinals definitely have to step it up here on the defensive end and not let the Bulldogs spot up for those 3-pointers. There's an ill-advised pass, and the steal is by Dedrick Basel, he dishes it off to Ingram. Ingram misses the shot, and the loose ball is going to be controlled by the Cardinals. Basel to Riley, and Riley is fouled by number 43, Corey Ross.
Benny, you've got to give a lot of credit there to Basel. He's kept a couple of balls alive here now, and he's just playing his heart out.
He really is. And now back to the free throw line, you know, the Cardinals, and now you're staring at a deficit, and you really can't afford to miss these free throws. Not that you can ever afford to miss them. This free throw attempt is up, and no, it rolls off. So Cardinals are not shooting free throws tonight.
Yeah, that's their 8th straight miss. They really need one to stop the bleeding here and kind of get it turned the other way.
8 straight.
8 straight.
8 straight misses. Man, 8 points. I'm not a mathematician, but 8 plus 36 puts you in good shape. And he gets the second one to fall. Back to a 4-point Navarro lead. Certainly a lot of time left, well within striking distance, obviously. Three-pointer on the way, long range. Misses everything. Rebound goes to Riley. Riley gets it to Foot with the drive, and he's going to be fouled. I believe that's going to be Corey Ross is going to be called for the foul.
They actually changed that call. It was Jaleel Cousins. That'll be his 3rd.
Jaleel Cousins. That will be his 3rd. Josh Robinson is going to check back into the game for the Cardinals. There's some foul power there that they desperately need out from the perimeter. Going to the free throw line now is Adonis Foot, 6'5" freshman out of Peoria, Illinois. And he gets that one to fall. So maybe the Cardinals are going to reverse that trend now.
Let's hope so. That's 2 of 3 now from the line for Foot, and he's got 4 points. Excuse me, 3 points.
Second one is good. Much needed free throws by Adonis Foot. Cardinals had a chance for a steal there, just missed it. Ten on the shot clock. Great job of defense by the Cardinals. And we're going to have a travel. Give Kevin Jordan a great pat on the back for defense along the baseline that time as he forced the turnover.
Yeah, he's playing tough down there. Kind of had an arm in his back, trying to make sure Jalil didn't get swung around, and nice job.
And here come the Cardinals, just like we talked about. Great resiliency all season, coming back from deficits, grinding out wins. But this has really been a grinder. Josh Robinson on the drive is going to be fouled away from the bucket before the shot. Foul's going to be on number 35, Jamar Goodwin.
Josh wanted some NBA continuation there.
It would have been big time NBA continuation. Taking a long time to inbound this ball. Got a foul away from the ball going against the Cardinals. 32, Kevin Jordan, charged with the foul. 41-39. Navarro, 11:36 left in the first half. Cardinals with pressure in the backcourt. So it should be a backcourt violation. The shot clock is now on 25 seconds, and it starts at 35, so that's a 10-second call. That is going to be the call. Michael Landers is not happy with the call. He and this one official have had a lot of conversation tonight. Cardinals get it in. Eldonna's Foot lays it up and in. Eldonna's Foot with the drive has tied the game 41-41. Oh, a great job of defense that time by Eldonna's Foot. Eldonna's Foot has turned this game around at this point. Josh Robinson for three. Will not fall. The putback is good by Patrick Ingram, and the Cardinals, just like that, have stormed back, and Michael Landers has seen enough, and now Michael Landers has called a timeout. Goodness gracious alive, Trinity Valley Cardinal basketball.
Wow, they are fired up, Benny, I tell you what. And that's two great plays by Eldonna's Foot to kind of get this thing rolling the other direction. Big-time basketball right there.
11 minutes even left, folks, and this one's back to a 43-41 game. We've seen some switches now in the second half. The Cardinals go up 34-29, their biggest lead. Here come the Bulldogs back with a 9-0 run to go up 38-34, and now you look at it, the Cardinals are back in a 43-41 win. Wow.
I think Kevin Jordan, Benny, just as a side note here, he kind of ran off right as that timeout was called, ran off to the back. I think he got hit in the throat, and he's really trying to, you can kind of see there, well, if you can, he's bending over a little bit. He says he's okay, but he's really struggling. And boy, we said he'd get physical. Jordan's going to shake that one off, I guarantee you, and he'll be right back out there battling.
43-41 Cardinals. Have a little bit of disturbance in the stands across the way. Probably a great timeout by Michael Landers that time, Jason. I think he sensed that this thing was about to shift around and this crowd was really getting into it. So just a way of calming things down just a little bit. Of course, Michael's coached games in this gym now. This is his 12th year to coach a game in this gym, so he knows how to read this Cardinal crowd. And sure enough, he called the timeout, which was much needed by his Bulldogs.
Maybe so, but I tell you what, especially the section where the football players are, they're just getting started. So there's a lot to go on here.
That's going to be a foul in the game for the first time by Dominic Josephs, number 0 for the Cardinals. Great job by the Bulldogs of getting it in, and a great job of saving the possession by Dwan Wright.
Boy, this crowd has really gotten into it. You can hear it.
Ten on the shot clock. Shot is up and good. It's a two-pointer by Shannon Lilly. And we're tied at 43. Patrick Ingram. Josephs better watch out. He hasn't cleared out of the lane. He's cleared this time. The official was really watching him close. There goes Ingram, laying it up. Going to draw a foul. Foul's going to be on number 35, Jamar Goodwin. That's going to be his third personal foul. The Bulldogs now have 3 players on the floor with 3 fouls each. That's going to be Dwan Wright, Goodwin, and number 51, Cousins. 10 minutes and 2 seconds left, and we're tied at 43-43 in a typical Trinity Valley Navarro Region 14 Conference basketball game. Free throw attempt is good. Not the prettiest in the world, but it still counts. Octavius Ellis back into the game. Got him a breather there a minute or so.
That's 10 points now for Ingram, who's a perfect 3 of 3 from the line. After the Cards struggled, they missed 8 in a row. They've hit the last 4, so that's what they needed to kind of get this thing headed back in the right direction.
And Ingram's averaging 8.2 points a game, so he's above his average, and he gets the second free throw to fall. So big-time free throws there for Ingram as we're at halfway through the second half, folks. Great defensive intensity by both teams. Both teams just playing great defense. And there's a steal, Foot, but it's recaptured by the Bulldogs.
Well, everybody's just fired up.
A lot of intensity in this game, folks.
Well, that's to be expected, obviously. These are two big-time rivals. I don't know that you can bring anybody else in here that would be as much as a friendly rival as Navarro.
We will mention that the rematch for these two teams will be the final Saturday of the regular season on March the 2nd when the Cardinals go to Corsicana. A lot of basketball between now and then. Nice job of driving the baseline by Dewan Wright. Great body control against Octavius Ellis and converting for the Bulldogs. What a great game. What a great game. Deidre with the miss, but the tip in goes to Octavius Ellis. The Bulldogs went to sleep there and turned Tay loose. A nice job of creating space and coming with a jam off the long rebound. Jamar Goodwin with 3 fouls, playing very aggressively. 47-47. I think Navarro's played in 13 two-possession games this year. Patrick Ingram for 3, got it. Patrick Ingram drains the three-pointer for the Cardinals.
14 points for Ingram, but that's his second three-pointer.
And there's a steal. Adonis Foote with another great play, tips it to Patrick Ingram, and here come the Cardinals with a chance to building on the lead. They get it down low. A great job of Dietrich Basel of finding Octavius Ellis down low. And here come the Cardinals one more time, 52-47. Man, this is what Region 14 Conference basketball is all about right here. My goodness. Look at the Cardinals, just great hands. A steal by Ingram, going to knock it loose, and he's going to be called for a foul. He went way aggressive after the loose ball. I guarantee you Chris Bauman has no problem with that foul right there.
Yeah, well, I sure don't either. I mean, he was just hustling to try to get to the ball and had almost gotten a steal just a few moments earlier.
And we have another timeout by Michael Landers. Another great timeout, I think, by Michael Landers. Mike was very good at reading the crowd and stops the game with the Cardinals up by a 52-47 count. 52-47 at the 7:57 mark. Hey, Jason, while we got a minute, I'd like to give a shout out to a good buddy of ours from a long way back. Robbie Robertson and his wife Marna are listening tonight, or watching I should say, down at their home just outside of Houston. They went over to Houston tonight to watch the Lady Cardinals score a 99-64 win over San Jacinto. Of course, Robbie's a great friend of ours. He's a great friend of the college, a big supporter of the college. And they went over to watch the Lady Cardinals tonight. We're proud to have Robbie and Marna looking in tonight.
Yeah, we love Robbie, even though we don't even know where he's at anymore. He's somewhere down South Texas, and we can't even find him. But
well, now, I'm not going with the love part. I mean,
okay, we like him.
Okay, there you go.
We like him. Robbie, we like you. And that's all we're willing to say about it.
But anyway. But, of course, Robbie's a great friend of ours and a great friend of the college, as I mentioned. And we're proud to have him and Marna watching in tonight. And they support the program from afar, let's just say, and went to watch the Lady Cardinals tonight. We should mention, Jason, that tonight the Lady Cardinals' 99-64 win over San Jack was the 100th career coaching win for Elena Lovato. She's now 108 as a head coach.
That's crazy. Congratulations to her. She deserves it.
We'll see if Michael Landers gets the desired results after this timeout to cut into the Cardinals' momentum. 52-47. It worked the previous time that he called a timeout. So let's see if this one works as well. Michael's got 2 timeouts left, and there should be one more media timeout coming up as well.
He was a little frustrated, Benny. I think he thought that it was a 30-second timeout, and he'd sent his team back on the court, and then the referee said no, it was a full timeout. So
Cardinals been playing great defense the last 3 or 4 minutes. I mean, they really turned the game with their defense. Three-pointer, got it. Number 33 knocks it down. Dwan Wright, big bucket for the Bulldogs.
7 points for Wright.
Ellis with the drive, comes up short on it. Rebound goes to the Bulldogs. Shannon Lilly, and here come the Bulldogs. Bulldogs miss a couple there, won't fall, and he goes out of bounds off the Bulldogs, and the Cardinals will have the basketball. Checking into the game for the Bulldogs is number 11, Chris Ware, along with number 45, Troy Jones. Navarro is really used to these 1 or 2 possession games because they've had a ton of them this year. Octavius Ellis with the outside jumper, no good. Rebound goes to the Bulldogs, controlled by Wright, number 33. Chance for the Bulldogs to tie. Great job by Octavius Ellis. He had to be careful there. Could have picked up his 4th foul. Here come the Cardinals quickly down the floor. Josh Robinson. Cardinals didn't waste any time getting the ball down the floor that time. Robinson feeds Malcolm Riley. Malcolm Riley with the miss. Malcolm Williams keeps the rebound alive, and he goes out of bounds off of the Bulldogs. Ingram, Foot, and Basil are going to check back into the game for the Cardinals. They'll stay on the floor with Josh Robinson, 23, and Octavius Ellis, 2. 6:25. Boy, you just have the feeling this was going to come down to the last possession. And he's having a hard time getting the ball in, Adonis says, so he calls a timeout. That will leave both teams with 2 timeouts. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
Well, right now, Patrick Ingram, for a while there, didn't have any cards in double figures. Ingram's got 14 now to lead the cards. He's got a couple of 3-pointers, 4-4 from the line as well. 10 points now for Octavius Ellis. Got to take a lot more, probably maybe more stops than it will points, I guess would be a really big measure in this game.
Let's see, we'll pass along some women's scores. Told you the Lady Cardinals won 99-64. Jacksonville beat Angelina 72-57. Jacksonville's really coming on. We told you the Glen beat Parrish 68-67. Tyler beat Kilgore 65-60. And Bossier Parish got a win over Panola tonight, 87-74.
How about that?
Thanks to our buddy over at Corsicana, Mike Monfort, for sending those scores along. Cardinals nursing a 52-50 lead. They get the ball down low to Ellis. He makes a move. Gets caught underneath, puts it up, no good. Battles for the rebound. Rebound controlled by Adonis Foot. A Foot puts it back up. He misses the shot, and he's going to be fouled. Foul's going to go against 45, Troy Jones. That's going to be his 3rd personal foul. So the Bulldogs again have 3 players out on the floor with 3 fouls at the 6:08 mark. But at this point, I would think that Michael Landers is all in with his team with the situation of the game right now. I don't know that you can afford to rest somebody more than just a minute maybe. Adonis Foot gets that shot to fall. Adonis, we mentioned, coming in was averaging 10.7 points a game.
Got 8 right now, and he's 4 or 5 from the line.
Kevin Jordan's going to check back in for the Cardinals after this free throw, assuming that it's made. And it is. He will check in. See what Chris Ballman is doing, Jason. He's going to rest Tay for a few seconds every other possession or so. It looks like what he's done since he picked up his 3rd foul, although he did stay out a couple of minutes when he picked up his 3rd foul. 4-point Cardinal lead, under 6 minutes to go. Got a D up, not let the Bulldogs pull up and spot up for a 3-pointer. And another steal by Adonis Foot. I know that's at least 3 he's got tonight. He gives it up to Dedrick Basil, and the Cardinals get a big burst right there and take a 6-point lead. And boy, Adonis Foot has really come alive here defensively in the second half for the Cardinals.
9 points, and that is his 3rd steal, Benny. He's been huge in the second half for the Cards.
56-50, a critical point here for the Bulldogs. You can sense the Cardinals are up on their toes on the defensive end now. Can't let him spot up for the 3 just like that, and that cuts the lead just in half. They found him in the corner. Jamar Goodwin was uncovered, and he made the Cardinals pay, and suddenly your 6-point lead is now cut in half to 56-53.
That's the 7th 3-pointer of the night for the Bulldogs.
Oh, every possession is crucial. Adonis' foot with a three-pointer, no good. That may have been ill-advised there. He had a good look at it, but I don't know. You could have got a better shot possibly there. And the Bulldogs turning over an unforced error, and that sent Michael Landers to his knees in frustration with that one.
That's 24 turnovers for Navarro.
Wow, 24 turnovers. I guarantee you, Michael's not used to many of his teams through his coaching career turning the ball over 24 times. Not all sloppy play, we might add. The Cardinals had a lot to do with it, but they didn't have anything to do with that one there. Cardinals beat the press down the floor. Now they're going to get a trap here. They do get it cross court to Ingram. Need a good possession here. Like to build on that lead, of course. Under 5 minutes to go in the game. A typical Trinity Valley Navarro Region 14 Conference basketball game. Octavius is trapped in the corner. Doesn't have a dribble left. Finds Diedrich. Less than 10 seconds on the shot clock. Diedrich Baser with a soft jumper, no good. Ellis keeps the rebound alive, controlled by Josh Robinson. He gets it out to Patrick Ingram. Cardinals did a great job there, Octavius Ellis, of keeping that alive. And now Octavius, I believe it's going to be, Octavius Ellis is going to be called for his 4th personal foul at the 4:15 mark. So that's going to be Tay's 4th foul. He's going to go to the bench at the 4:15 mark, Jason. Cardinals clinging to a 56-53 lead. Be interesting to see at what point Chris Bauman goes back with him. Both teams have D'd up tonight. A three-pointer, no good. Rebound, Adonis Foot. Adonis Foot, what a second half he's had, folks. And the Diedrich Baser was just mugged there, and the Bulldogs get the steal and get an easy bucket and pull within 1. Great job by the Bulldogs. Ingram for 3. No good. Kevin Jordan on the back. And it's going to be a 1-and-1, so the Bulldogs are going to go to the free throw line. Not a good exchange the last couple of minutes now for the last minute I should say for the Cardinals. They were up 56-50, and now they're in danger here of seeing their lead evaporate at the 3:34 mark. Chris Bauman's going to have a decision to make here very shortly on at what point Tay Ellis comes back into the game, and I think we've seen that decision made because Octavius is making his way back to the scorer's table. And I would expect that the Bulldogs would counter and go right at him, Jason.
Probably so. I bet Trinity Valley has attempted 25 shots from the free throw line. As Shannon Lilly steps up here, this will be Navarro's 3rd attempt. They're just 2 for 2 from the line tonight.
Just really? Just 2. I didn't realize that. Got a loud crowd here tonight.
I think what they're arguing is that Lilly wasn't the guy that got fouled.
1-and-1 for Lilly. Gets that free throw to fall, and we're tied at 56. This one's long. Rebound goes to Josh Robinson, and we're fittingly tied at 56-56 at the 3:33 mark. Last team with the ball probably have a chance to win this one. Robinson for 3, no. Rebound goes to Jones. Got a jump ball. Navarro's possession. Bulldogs with a chance to take the lead. 3:12 mark. Next held ball will belong to the Cardinals. Octavius Ellis on the floor for the Cardinals, number 2 with 4 fouls. Bulldogs have 3 players out on the floor with 3 fouls. Cardinals with pressure defense. Ingram working against Lilly. Ellis with the block, but the shot still goes in. Goodwin did a good job of getting it up high. Octavius got a piece of it, but the ball still found its way in. Ingram with a drive. Can't get it to fall. The rebound goes to the Bulldogs, just controlled by Dwan Wright. Navarro looking to build on his 2-point lead. Not in a big hurry. Not in a big hurry at all. Coming up on the 2-minute mark. And a turnover. They had the right idea, just didn't execute it correctly. Big turnover, under 2 minutes to go. Cardinals down by 2. Seen this many times from the Cardinals in close games in Region 14 conference play. They've always found a way to pull it out. At home tonight, you certainly want to do that. Josh Robinson with a baseline drive. The ball is knocked out of bounds off of Navarro. There's 12 seconds on the shot clock, and we have a timeout. I believe a Chris Ballman called this one. Yeah, Cardinals are going to take a timeout at the 1:31 mark.
A lot of tension right now, boy. It's just as we kind of said it would be. It's just coming right down to the wire, and it certainly looks like it's going to be one of those who's got the ball last kind of games.
It sure does, Jason. See the Cardinal cheerleaders entertaining during this timeout. Well, a lot at stake here for the Cardinals, Jason. They want to keep the lead in the conference race for a possible #1 seed at the regional tournament and the #6 national ranking.
Yeah, just a lot at stake here. I mean, as we said, the rivalry is great, but there's so much at stake here. So the Cards really need to take care of business here, and they're certainly in position.
And it certainly would help Navarro to knock off the #1 seeded team at this point, because as the standings play out, if they get into a tie for a seeding, the team that beats the higher seed is going to get the tiebreaker if they've split during the course of the regular season. So all that factors in come tournament time. You knew that both teams have played great defense tonight, and by far they have. Cardinals with possession, down 2. Need a good look here. Need to get a good look. Josh Robinson for 3 out top, no good. Long rebound goes to the Bulldogs. One right, and now the Bulldogs can milk a little bit of the clock here as we're coming up on 1:10 to play in the game. Navarro has seen this all year for sure. The Cardinals haven't seen this many 2-possession games, and the Bulldogs' Michael Landers is going to take a timeout at the 1:06 mark. He wants to make sure his team is on the same page as he is.
Yeah, definitely. Tough for the Cardinals. They came out of the timeout. There was 12 seconds on the shot clock, so you didn't have time to work for a good look. I think Josh Robinson got as good of a look as they probably could have expected. It was a little bit of a long shot, though.
Cardinals definitely need to get a stop here, because suddenly if you give up anything here more than a 1 free throw, obviously you're talking about a 2-possession game then, and that starts playing into Navarro's hand, because we're at 1:08 left in the game. So Navarro's holding the cards right now is what I'm saying, but we've seen the Cardinals in tougher jams than this so far this season, and they've managed to pull it out. The question is, can they do it tonight?
No doubt.
Both teams have 1 timeout left. They could definitely come into play here, certainly, as we head down inside the final minute, as they may want to reset things strategy-wise. Hear the Cardinal Regiment in the background. Cardettes are performing across the way. Very loud crowd tonight, very loud. I suspect the same will be true in Tyler Saturday night, and then certainly back home here next Wednesday night when the Cardinals play host to Kilgore. Well, it's funny, Jason. This conference, you can be in charge of the race, but boy, one loss can send you on a not so as a tailspin, but it can just change the whole complexion of the race when you look at the schedule that you've got coming up.
That's a tough stretch too. I mean, Tyler and Kilgore is going to be plenty formidable. So, but first things first, Card's got to take care of this one with 1:06 left.
"20 seconds on the shot clock. 1 minute to go in the game. 1 minute. Shots missed. Rebound goes out of bounds off the Cardinals, I believe. So that's going to give the Bulldogs a fresh 35 on the shot clock with 47 seconds left in the game. So there's about a 12.3 differential in the play clock and the game clock. Steps out of bounds right in front of the Bulldog bench. Michael Landers asked the official that was down in front of the action why he didn't call it, and the official shaking his head, and Michael said okay, but I don't think Michael believed it. "40 seconds left in the game. Big possession for the Cardinals. 58-56, Navarro lead. Josh Robinson drives the baseline, puts up a shot, goes out of bounds. Luckily for the Cardinals, it goes off of the Bulldogs. 20 seconds on the shot clock, 28.9 seconds on the game clock. Still the Cardinals ball, and I believe Chris Ballman has just used his final timeout.
Probably as good a time as any. Obviously, you've got to score here. Got to have a good game plan. Certainly got a good look there with Robinson. I wouldn't say a good look, I guess, but certainly had a good chance at it. But Robinson just got a little too far into the goal.
Both teams will now try to figure out this final seconds left in the game. Michael Landers has one timeout in his back pocket. The Cardinals are out of timeouts. You see the Cardinal cheerleaders will be going for a 10th national championship this April down in Daytona Beach, Florida. They're always on hand to support the Cardinals and Lady Cardinals at home and on the road. Been a very active crowd here tonight, a very loud crowd. The football team has been here in mass. That means everybody's here.
Oh, okay.
The volleyball team's been here. The softball team is here. One thing about here from Trinity Valley, all our teams support each other. Lady Cardinals are scheduled to play Cisco in a softball doubleheader at home tomorrow at 1 and 3. I haven't heard from Coach Ashley Johnson on whether or not they still planning on playing the game. The game was originally scheduled for yesterday, but the field was too wet, and it may be too cold tomorrow. Keep in mind the Cardinals and Lady Cardinals will be on the road Saturday. They go to Tyler for games at 2 and 4 p.m. The Cardinals return home next Wednesday to host Kilgore at 7:30 p.m. and that's a game we will have for you here on the Cardinal Sports Network. Cardinals need to make the most of this possession. They don't have any timeouts, and they throw it away. They just throw the inbounds pass away, but they get a break that the ball goes out of bounds off of Navarro. Wow, man. Now then the shot clock is off. There's 26.7 seconds left, and Navarro's really D'ing it up because they stole the inbound, but they turned it over.
Of course, the Cards are in a 1-on-1 situation too here, Benny, so
15 seconds. No timeouts for Chris Ballman. Patrick Ingram with the drive, and Patrick Ingram knocks it down. 7.3 seconds left. Patrick Ingram with the drive for the Cardinals, and here come the Bulldogs. We're tied at 58, and Michael Landers uses his last timeout. And Michael says there's more than 3.6 seconds left on the clock. The officials, I think, are going to agree with him. They're going to put 4.2 seconds. 4.2 seconds when we put on the clock. The Bulldogs will have the ball directly in front of their bench.
nice job by Ingram there, Benny. He's got a team-high 16 points. I think you can call that a game-high 16 points. the crowd was kind of getting excited, and Ingram saw just a little bit of an opening, and nice soft touch on a hard drive into the hoop.
So to reset things for you, both teams I believe now are out of timeouts. Yes, they are. 4.2 seconds, I believe, are being put back on the clock. The Bulldogs will have possession. They'll have it right in front of their own bench, and it'd be interesting to see where Michael Landers attacks.
Well, what do you think?
I think
you know the man well.
I think they're going to look inside first to see if they can get a mismatch or maybe get a foul inside.
Yeah, you know, the thing about that is, though, Benny, I just don't know. You know, you always, in these kind of situations, referees tend to kind of swallow their whistle. You'd hate for it to end at the free throw line.
That's true. Now, they didn't swallow their whistle at last year's Kilgore Trinity Valley game in the second round of the regional tournament.
Not that we're bitter.
No, not at all. But you're right, though. Cardinals can't let them spot up for three, but obviously they can't just go to sleep on the inside, because all night we've seen the Bulldogs attack down low. And that might be their point of attack here, but you're right, Jason. You might not get the benefit of a call this late in the game on the other team's floor. So we're 58-58. This was going to either go to overtime, or the Bulldogs are going to have a chance to win it here in regulation. Goodwin will inbound. Going to be looking to try to get it to probably to Dwan Wright, number 33. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't go to number 45 down low, Troy Jones. Maybe look for the foul. Here we go, folks. 4.2 seconds. Bulldogs do get it in. Bower turns the ball over. And we are headed to overtime, 58-58. Headed to overtime. Boy, it just speaks to the resiliency of the Cardinals, Jason, like we've talked about all year. They just find ways to grind out a game, get back into a game, and force overtime. And here we go. We will reset things now. We'll go to overtime, and they put 50 minutes on the clock, but I don't think I can take 50 more minutes of this game. So now they've got it down to 5 minutes.
Well, one thing you got to look for here, Benny, obviously, is Octavius Ellis with 4 fouls, so he's obviously going to be in this entire crucial period, I'd imagine. So kind of wonder if Navarro now would try to attack him a little bit. Not that their whole game plan would be to knock him out of the game, but certainly would want to go right at him. Wouldn't be afraid to. Wow, he's sure been a big factor for him. Just real quick, through as we get to this overtime period, Navarro's got Jamar Goodwin with 11 points, Troy Jones with 10. Now the Bulldogs have 27 turnovers tonight, and they're only 3 or 4 from the line. That's good, but only 4 shots from the line. Card got 16 points right now from Patrick Ingram. Octavius Ellis has 10 with about 3 rebounds and 3 blocks to go with it unofficially. And Aldonis Foots had a great second half. A big reason why the Cardinals are in the position they're in with 9 points, 3 steals, and a couple of rebounds. Cards just had 15 turnovers, just 5 in the second half, and 15 of 25 from the line going into this overtime period.
We will jump ball again to start the overtime period. The overtime period will last 5 minutes. Both teams have been given 1 additional timeout, so both teams have 1 timeout each. 5 minutes to go. Man, what a game. What a game. Boy, Region 14 basketball, man, it's just some great games. 2 rivals, been a cleanly played game. Rebound is controlled by the Cardinals, Dedrick Basel. Well, every possession counts in a 5-minute overtime. Make sure you get good looks. Dedrick Basel with a pull-up jumper, no good. Nobody there for the rebound with the exception of Shannon Lilly, one of the smallest players on the floor. So the Bulldogs will now have a chance to strike first. Three-pointer on the way, good. Credit Goodwin, number 35, with a 3-pointer.
He's got 14 points now. That's his second 3.
Great way to start overtime for the Bulldogs. Adonis Foote with a drive. He's going to draw the foul. Foul's going to go against number 33, Wright. That's going to be his 4th foul now. So Wright on the floor for the Bulldogs with 4 fouls, and Octavius Ellis, number 2, on the floor with 4 fouls for the Cardinals. Adonis Foote at the free throw line for the Cardinals, and you certainly got to make free throws at this time of the game. And this one's off the front of the iron. So the best the Cardinals can get out of this exchange is to pull within 2. And this one's in and out. So a chance for the Cardinals to get within 1. They can't capitalize, and now the Bulldogs will have a chance to build on a 3-point lead. I'm sure they will burn a little bit of clock, but not all of it, because they don't want to have to force up a shot near the end. A block by Octavius Ellis. They're going to call it a jump ball, and possession will go to the Bulldogs. Oh, that was close there. Octavius, of course, has got 4 fouls. You'd sure hate to lose him now with 3:43 left in overtime, and who knows if he may go to double overtime. And Dedrick Bass is going to get called for the foul. There was really no need for that foul. He got kind of position, but he made contact way up high. And that's going to be 1-and-1 now for the Bulldogs. 3:42 left in overtime. And it's going to go to the free throw line. It's going to be Shannon Lilly.
He's 1 of 2 from the line tonight with 5 points. Of course, we mentioned earlier the Bulldogs 3 of 4 from the line. Not many trips, but pretty efficient.
This one's long, no good. Rebound goes to Adonis Foote. So there's a break there for the Cardinals, who missed 2 free throws the last time they had the ball. Cardinals need a good possession here, get a really good look. Boy, I tell you, Adonis Foote did a great job of keeping the ball alive. The Cardinals are eventually going to turn it over, ultimately turn it over, I should say. But man, that was just a bad decision by Tay that time. Make that pass. So a turnover for the Cardinals, and again, Navarro has a chance to build on that 3-point lead coming up on the 3-minute mark of overtime. Little lazy pass the Bulldogs got away with there. Bulldogs not in a hurry at any stretch of the imagination. Spotting up for 3. Got it. There he is. Chris Boulware with a huge 3-pointer for the Bulldogs. And just like that, the Bulldogs now have a 6-point lead. The Cardinals have not scored in this overtime period, and the Bulldogs have knocked down a couple of threes. Adonis Foote with a drive, no good. Octavius Ellis with the tip in. Cardinals had to have that, but boy, time's working against them now. There's still time, but it's working against them with the Bulldogs owning a 4-point lead, a 2-possession lead. Oh, a nice baseline jumper by Goodwin. Did a great job, great body control along the baseline, putting up the one-hander. Josh Robinson for 3, in and out, no good. Octavius Ellis keeps the rebound alive. He goes to Patrick Ingram. He dishes it off to Josh Robinson. Robinson with the miss. He gets the rebound and the putback in the miss, but he's going to be fouled. .131 left in overtime. A 6-point Navarro lead. Cardinals at the line for 2 free throws. Josh Robinson. They missed 2 free throws already in this overtime period. This one is good. Had to have that one. Still a 2-possession game. So now it's a 2-possession game, and it still will be even if he makes this one. Navarro's no stranger to these 2-possession games this year. This one's good. Cardinals have got to D up because I guarantee you that the Bulldogs are not going to be in any hurry. Adonis Foote almost coming for the steal. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Man, there's a lot of contact out there, and I know that's what Michael Landers is talking to the official about right now. "15 seconds on the shot clock. It's time for the Bulldogs to go into attack mode here. Three-pointer on the way, no good. And a nice job. You've got to give credit to Jamar Goodwin for trying to save the loose ball and knocking it out of bounds off of the Cardinals. So it's going to get a fresh 35 seconds on the shot clock for the Bulldogs. And, boy, they can run this thing way down, Jason, up by on 2 possessions.
But you're to the point now where you go ahead and send them to the line? Is it too soon for that?
Yeah, I think you got to try to get the steal and get the turnover here. Well, shows you what I know. Foul's going to go against Blanco. That's obviously what Chris Bauman is wanting done here. Counting on the fact the Bulldogs will miss the free throw. Goodwin, how's he been tonight at the line?
Well, this is his first trip, but he's got 16 points tonight, and Bulldogs have missed their last 2 free throws. Of course, they're just 3 of 5 now.
Got that one to fall. There's really no harm in that one there because it's still a 2-possession game. It is to be a 2-possession game even if he gets this, but there have to be 2 3-pointers. Cardinals got some ground to make up. They're going to pull this one out. This one's short, I should say. Long rebound goes to Foote. Here come the Cardinals down 5. Ingram puts up a 3, no good. Rebound goes to the Bulldogs. Great job of getting the rebound by Troy Jones and keeping the ball from going out of bounds and throwing it off of Octavius. And the Bulldogs will now have 32 seconds on the shot clock, and the game clock has 38.5. And they throw it away. They throw the inbound pass away. Josh Robinson puts up the 3-pointer, no good. Rebound goes to the Bulldogs, and there's going to be a foul, I believe, by Adonis Foote. So that's going to send the Bulldogs to the free throw line on the other end. So only one other team in Region 14 Conference this year has been able to knock off the Cardinals, and that was the Kilgore Rangers, 74-70 over in Kilgore. And the Navarro College Bulldogs may be on the verge of stealing a key road win over the top-ranked team in the conference at this point. Be a big feather in their cap. A lot of momentum going into a tough game at home this Saturday against Paris. First free throw attempt is good. Still at a 2-possession game, Jason. If he hits this, suddenly it's a 3-possession game, and boy, the odds are against you then. And that's what it is. Now Navarro definitely doesn't want any fouls because they don't want the clock stopped. Cardinals have to scramble for points. Foote with the drive. Doesn't get the shot to fall. It's going to be a foul call. It's going to go against number 45, Troy Jones. That's going to be his 4th foul. So the Bulldogs now have 3 players on the floor with 4 fouls, but it's really not going to matter, doesn't seem, at this point with 25.5 seconds left.
Well, you definitely, as you always say, you want to try to score with the clock stopped, and that's what the Cardinals are going to get a chance to do here. They're going to foul immediately when the well, but either way, depending on what happens after the free throws, whether you make them or it's a rebound. So.
Yeah, you've got to get the clock stopped. You sure do, and count on Navarro not hitting free throws.
Now, Foote, Benny, he was 5 of 6 from the line to start. Now he missed his last 2, so 5 of 8 now.
And he gets that one to fall. Had to have it. Now it's back to a 2-possession game. If you don't get the quick steal, I would think you'd see the Cardinals foul quickly. And he gets that one to fall. So 5-point game, and there's the foul. It's going to send Goodwin to the free throw line.
Goodwin's 1 of 2, Benny. He's got 17 points. 1 of 2 from the line.
First one is good. Well, the Bulldogs are making it count at the free throw line.
It's a game high 18 points for Goodwin.
And the second free throw attempt is also good. So it's back to a 3-possession game with 23 seconds left. Adonis Foot with the drive. And a quick foul. Quick foul is going to be charged to the Cardinals. Dedrick Basil. So as long as Navarro hits its free throws, doesn't matter what strategy the Cardinals use here, because it's not going to matter because they keep making them count at the free throw line. And there's another one.
It's 9 points now for Bower, 3 of 3 from the line.
And that one's in. So it looks like the Navarro College Bulldogs are going to score a huge road win as Foot gets another easy layup. Bulldogs are not going to defend on that because they don't want to get the foul. And now we have a timeout charged called by, I should say, by Michael Landers. 13.1 seconds left. Bulldogs lead by a 73-68 count. I'm sure Michael just wants to reset things and remind all his kids of the situation. They don't have any timeouts left now, so they don't want to inadvertently or accidentally call a timeout that they don't have.
Don't necessarily always have a choice that you can foul, but if you can deny Bower the ball, of the guys on the floor, Shannon Lilly is 1 of 2, and nobody else on the floor has even shot a free throw. So, of course, we said that Navarro didn't shoot many in the first half, but
it's been a long game, folks. We're 2 hours and 5 minutes into it now. It's 9:35 here in the Central Time Zone. What's been a cold day in Athens, Texas. The temperature didn't leave the 30s today. Going to drop down into the 20s tonight and stay in the 30s tomorrow. And will you see a snowflake tomorrow? It's possible. That's your updated weather report here as this game winds down. Again, our next broadcast for you will be on a week from tonight when the Cardinals host the Kilgore College Rangers, who are ranked number 9 in this week's national poll. Cardinals came in at number 6. That's going to take a hit tonight, obviously. Cardinals go to Tyler on Saturday. The Bulldogs are at home Saturday playing Paris. Cardinals almost come up with a steal. Adonis Foot. A couple of seconds evaporate from the clock, so we're down to 11.6. Bulldogs don't have any timeouts left. Having a hard time getting it in. Octavius Ellis forces a steal. It's dished back off to Ellis, but he's fouled before he can get the shot off, and the Cardinals have life. Oh, my goodness. Navarro struggled mightily to get the ball in a couple of times there, and finally they got it in, and Cardinals did a great job of forcing the turnover. And Octavius goes to the free throw line now to shoot 2 as both teams are in the double bonus. Oh, well, you got to get those to fall. Had a chance to make it a 1-possession game if you hit both of them, and now it's going to stay a 2-possession game. That hurts there, missing those free throws, and they missed enough free throws tonight.
13.
13 free throws they've missed tonight. And he misses that one. Rebound does go to Adonis Foote, and he gets the putback. And now it is a one-possession game, 3.8 seconds left, and Chris Ballman uses his final timeout. So, boy, the Cardinals, can they do it again? Can they pull one out from when it looks like it's impossible?
Well, Foote's had a nice night. 17 points, 5 rebounds, 3 steals. Big points right there. Had to have them.
Boy, they missed enough free throws, though, that you just come back to haunt you in a game like this, like we talked about early in the game, that you've got to hit those free throws. Got to hit them. 3.6 seconds left, and Cardinals can't win it in regulation, it would appear, but they would love to get a steal here and put up a quick three-pointer, but I would think if they don't get an immediate steal, there's going to be an immediate foul just to try to one last gasp effort. And then, of course, if they do that, then the Bulldogs are in the double bonus now as well. So if they hit one free throw, then that would pretty well, it would decide it.
Yeah, well, Diedrich Basil's done a good job out there trying to deny Chris Boulware the ball when they're trying to inbound it. Boulware's 4-4 from the line, looks pretty comfortable shooting them. I think you're going to see that again after this.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Bulldogs don't try to sneak this one down the floor. The long pass down the floor, have somebody break away. They got all jammed up down there at that time, and it really caused some issues. Twice they had trouble inbounding the ball. When they finally got it in, they still turned it over.
Yeah, because if you're going to make a mistake, you want to make it maybe closer to your basket, not underneath the Trinity Valley basket.
Absolutely.
There's one way to get to the free throw line. No clock at all.
This is true.
This will be Dwan Wright's first trip, and he's got 7 points tonight. Navarro's been very good from the free throw line here lately.
That foul was called on Cardinals' Malcolm Riley, number 15. I'm sorry, Patrick Ingram, number 15. So if young man can knock down the first one of these free throws here, that's going to pretty much decide things. Dwan Wright's at the free throw line, a 3-point lead, 3.8 seconds, and he knocks it down. So now then, I would think Michael Landers just tells his team to clear the floor and just not even worry about playing any defense, because the worst thing that could happen would be to give up a three-pointer and a foul. But at this point, that wouldn't even matter if he makes this one with a 4-point lead. And he misses it, so here come the Cardinals. They got to put up a three. He puts it up, it's no good, and the Navarro College Bulldogs are going to survive with a 74-70 win here at Cardinal Gym on a night that we saw the homecoming for Michael Landers, and he goes away a happy man tonight as his Bulldogs knock off the number 6 ranked Cardinals 74-70 in a game the Cardinals left a lot of points at the free throw line, as Jason mentioned, missing I think 14 free throws tonight. And Jason will get things totaled up, and we'll give you the scoring totals before we leave tonight for both teams. But it was a hard-fought game. You know the rematch on March 2nd over at Corsicana is going to be a good one, as the Cardinals now will fall back into it at least a three-way tie for the lead in the East Zone of Region 14 Conference, depending on what Kilgore and Paris did tonight, because they were both sitting there with 2 losses. The Bulldogs improved their record to 16-8 overall and 9-4 in the conference, while the Cardinals fall to 21-3 overall and 11-2 in the conference. And now, Jason, why don't you run down the scoring totals for both teams?
Well, we'll start with Navarro College, Benny. 19 points for Jamar Goodwin. He had 10 each from Chris Boulware and Troy Jones. Troy Jones also had about 6 rebounds. Navarro finished 11-15 from the line, won despite 29 turnovers. For the Cardinals, they had 16 points from Patrick Ingram to lead. Well, he didn't lead, excuse me. Aldonis Foote had 17, then 16 for Ingram, 12 for Octavius Ellis, 4 rebounds, 4 blocks, and then 9 points for Josh Robinson. Cards were just 19 of 33 from the line, just 16 turnovers. turnovers.
Well, that's going to wrap it up from Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym tonight, folks. Again, the Cardinals fall to 21-3 overall, 11-2 in the conference. Navarro improved to 16-8 and 9-4. The Cardinals return to action Saturday. The men and women will be at Tyler for games at 2 and 4 p.m. We won't have that for you, but KCKL 95.9 FM will broadcast the game, and you can also listen online at kcklfm.com. Our next webcast will be next Wednesday night when Kilgore comes to Cardinal Gym for a 7:30 p.m. tip-off. The Lady Cardinals have the night off next Wednesday night. So for our entire Cardinal Sports Network team and Jason Larson, this is Benny Rogers bidding you good night from Leon Spencer Court at Cardinal Gym.
This has been a special presentation of the Cardinal Sports Network.